Paranormal Central. Broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at paranormalcentral.net and broadcasting audio on the bell.com. Are you ready to witness something you cannot explain?
I'm looking for you. You're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I believe the unexplained? Look into the sky. You realize you're not alone. Open your eyes. You can find the trails that control.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from the bottom left-hand corner of the Nevada Triangle in a city called Fresno, California. Hello, my name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host. I'm also the founder of a group called the Sanger Paranormal Society. I've been investigating the paranormal for over 14 years now, so we're just not up here talking about it. We actually live it. I have a team. One of the members to the right of me, to the left of you,
Hi, everyone.
Mr. Alan Thomas.
Feels good to be back. Really does.
And just to let you know, if you guys are looking at the screen and going, why is my screen very, very blurry? Well, unfortunately, I had things to do today. I had to work, and I got home a little late, and the camera's a little cold. So it's starting to actually look at it's starting to
Starting to clear up.
it's starting to clear up on the right hand side of me, and eventually I'll go to the left. So
Actually, you guys drank too much, and it's really your eyes.
that's it.
Yep. Don't adjust your TV set.
It's you guys. Get some coffee, black. And no, we're not racist. All right. Well, welcome wherever you may be. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for showing up on a Sunday. I hope you had a great Christmas. I'm pretty sure we all did on this side. I hope you got what you asked for. If not, then you were pretty much bad. Very, very bad. Thank you for showing up again. As you know, we are broadcasting live on live stream. And the way you can watch us is if you go to our website at paranormalcentral.net, paranormalcentral.net. And that'll take you over to live stream. There is an Art Bell link there. Eventually, it's going to disappear. Within this week, it will disappear.
It will disappear.
We are no longer broadcasting our audio on the Dark Matter Digital Network. And that's just the way it is going to be. So we are looking for other avenues. And so right now you can just catch us here live on live stream on Sundays at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific. And eventually Mr. Alan Thomas will download it to YouTube, to our channel at Paranormal Central channel on YouTube. And you can watch it there during the week whenever you want. But we're gonna get a podcast going, so that way you guys can download the podcast audio only, and you can listen to it whenever you want. We're working on that right now. Give us a little bit of time, and we should have something for you guys. So there you go. Alan, it's about time you show up. So is it 2 weeks?
Yeah. It's been about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I missed two. Well, it was like a week off, and then on a week, and then off a week.
There you go. Okay.
And back a week.
So yeah. So we're not going to have Danny Valderrama because it's I thought he was working, but I just looked at his Facebook post, and he's at the frickin' zoo in Fresno, California. Well, he has his kids over. I think his son from the military. He's in. So they went to to the Fresno Zoo, and
I heard it was like all decked out, really nice. You know what I mean? Like some kind of Christmas cool thing. I saw some pictures, some other friends there. You know, it's like the place to be this Christmas.
There you go.
Go see the elephants.
And just sit home at 6 o'clock on Sunday night and just turn it on to live stream and watch us instead. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So we're not going to have Danny, and we're not going to have Heidi. Before we went over to the Dark Matter Digital Network and we started to send them our audio, we were only broadcasting 2 hours, and it was from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. But we're going to continue starting at 6 o'clock. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to shorten the time for an hour to 2 hours, and maybe go a little longer if we have something that we want to discuss longer, or a guest or whatever. We'll go past the hour. But the reason why we were at 3 hours is because the the Dark Matter Digital Network needed an hour to fill up. So we said, okay, we'll give you an extra hour, and we went 3 hours. So what we're gonna do, like I said, we're gonna shoot for 2 hours, and if we need more time, then we'll go past the exceeded time. Now we can do that. So we'll see how that works, and we'll go for it. And I hope that doesn't upset a lot of people out there, because I know you guys like 3 hours. That's a lot of time. But starting next year, we're going to try different things here on the show. Hopefully, we will have multi-cameras set up and all that kind of good stuff. And not going to happen right at the first of the year, but give me a little bit of time to
over the course of the year.
Yeah, well, hopefully within the next 2 or 3 months, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So it's going to get very professional. Multi cameras, different angles, effects, intros, movie, special effects intros, all that kind of stuff. So we're moving up in the world. I tried to put on a good show here for you guys, and in any way I can exceed what I did the past week, well, then I'm going to try to do it. And there's still so much more that I want to do on this internet show that I plan to do. Just give me a little bit of time, and it's my intent is to blow your socks off, and I'm hoping that we're doing that right now. But give us a little bit more time, and we're really gonna blow your socks off. All right. So there you go. All right. In a little bit, we have somebody who's gonna call in. He's been watching us for a while, actually, and he's a fan. And he's on chat a lot. And he called me the other day, and we talked just a little bit. And there's a lot of things that's been going on with him. And I want him to call in. When I tell him to call in, he's going to call in, and we're going to talk to him. And he wants to basically tell us about what's been happening in his life. Because a lot of the stuff that we're talking about here, he acknowledges the fact that there's good and evil, and what we say that can get rid of the evil is exactly what he says. Yes, you're right, it works, and he uses it, and there's no doubt about it. And so I wanted him to come on and tell us what's been happening in his life from the very beginning. And he said it's been way past, I guess, his younger years when it all started happening. But we'll get him on in a little bit. His name is Chris, and we're going to talk to him. Let's see. Let's just talk about stuff that's been happening in the news of paranormal. Obviously, there are a lot of other shows. I mean, we're not the only one. Simple as that, all right?
I thought we were.
But you know what? We're the only one who puts on a show like this, though. You know what I'm saying? And there you go. But
where they could sit and look at the scenery and not even ignore us if they want.
Yeah, they want. Yeah, who cares?
Like check it out, man. I was in my Starship and I took the picture behind us. Little video.
That's when he was abducted. Put the camera out the door. When they were
helmet cam.
When they were probing him. hit the.
Yeah, that's where it was last week.
Okay, you know what? We were supposed to have Emerald in here.
Yeah.
But Emerald had to go to the ER. She's having some stomach problems. So hopefully we'll get her next week. So we'll see what happens. But Emerald is coming back. Yes. Emerald and I are going to get into it once again. with her, her beliefs against my beliefs, and it's good. We get a lot of good response because you guys know where Alan and I stand in the good part, in the higher power part, right? It's always good to have somebody on our team who doesn't believe in that type of stuff. And I think people like it when her and I, or even Ellen, get into it, and we try to, I'm not here to try to persuade her to go our way, but I want to see where she's coming from. But maybe one of these days we can bring her to the good side.
She would be, I would think, like, she would be the majority opinion.
Right, there's a lot of people out
of the
there.
world,
Yeah.
probably. Like, so when she speaks her mind, she's really like a good sampling of.
But what's weird though is Emerald grew up in a very religious family, Catholic. Church. Her mom is like, wow. Her grandparents are so religious. It's not even funny. She went to a Catholic elementary school, and then did she go to a Catholic high school?
Yeah, but aren't they like more like strict?
Well, yeah,
it probably like made her
and
not
that's
like it.
and that's what happened. I actually know one more person as well.
Yeah, so is chat working? I don't see nobody chatting, so I don't know.
Did you hit the chat button?
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
I'm the only guy chatting. I'm chatting to myself.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah. I can't wait for Emerald to come back in. It's always good to have that perspective in when we're talking about subjects like that, and yeah, and you guys enjoy her, and we enjoy having her here, and that's why I said, you know what, you need to come back, and she even said that, I don't know how long it's been since she's been here, but she said that after she finishes school, which is at the end of the year, she will come back. And she said, all right, that's it. So, and she was planning to be here, but she had some stomach problems. And she's actually went to the doctor, and she's actually in the ER right now. So I don't know what's going on. So I don't know. All right.
Well, I missed her.
Yeah.
It was fun bantering with her.
Absolutely, it is.
It was really fun.
Respect. Yeah, exactly. Now, let's talk a little bit about a series on the Sci-Fi. I mentioned it last week, I think. Childhood Ends. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on demand right now if you have Comcast. But, we finally watched the third part, the last part, just a couple days ago. Or last night. A couple days ago. And, it blows me away that the aliens, if you want to call them, were what I grew up as resembling Satan. What I thought. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about, okay? When you have a mothership come, like in Men in Black, when the motherships come out of the clouds and they start hovering over all the cities, right? This happened in this particular series as well. But the aliens did not show themselves for years and years. We're talking like 10 years later. And then at that time, they did their magic on people, like cure illnesses, cure cancer, get rid of fossil fuels, free energy, no more money. It's like everybody was now happy to be on Earth, to be alive, because there was no more sadness. And the aliens did it. But no one knew what the aliens looked like. All right? And then one day, they said, okay, everybody, I think it's time to now come out and show everybody. So what I'm going to do right now is imagine everybody is on the grandstands, right? And they see this mothership, and all of a sudden the people of Earth built this escalator or an elevator that goes up to the top of the ship. And then all of a sudden, they require 2 children, I mean, probably 9 years old, to walk up the stairs to the point of the elevator. So when it opens, there's 2 little kids on each side of this alien or whatever it's supposed to be. The elevator opens, right? And then this is what you see. All right, now, the people in the grandstands, people on TV around the world, look at this. And the people who are very religious, they knew something was not right. And they were trying to fight this all the way. And then when the elevator door opens, this thing walks out with holding hands of these 2 children. Okay?
Oh man.
Okay?
Okay, no. So I had people messaging me last night. I guess it was on last night, right?
Well, the series is finished. There's 3
is it?
parts, yeah.
Okay, so they started messaging me and they were telling me about it and saying everyone in the whole world needs to watch that. That's what they were telling me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what we've been talking about here, what you have been thinking but you know what?
So they're telling us in the movies now what I was thinking?
And there are certain people in this movie, in this series, where you see the book and it says The Great Deception. All that is on there.
What?
And the all-seeing eye, the Great Deception in the Bible. It's that's what the people, the religious people who were, who knew this was not a good thing, knew this was not what everybody thinks. And then all of a sudden, this thing walks out, and this is what all the aliens look like right here.
Oh man.
Okay, so the people who are very religious saw this, and you can see, and they show them on TV, right?
I bet they freaked out.
And they're crying. They're like, no, and they're bawling, and no, my God, no, and they're all falling down on their knees because they see this. Now,
dude,
check it out.
You're scaring me, but I mean that's scary.
Okay,
because so far, movies and TV shows,
it's what
they tell the truth.
They're trying to condition us.
Right, but I mean, like, when they start doing that, they're usually telling you the truth.
But let me tell you something. What I paid attention, what I realized, though, is in this, and it's probably in the book, in the Clark book, but they're trying to make this, and I'm not calling it the devil or Satan, guys. I'm calling it an alien. Okay, yeah. That's what it is. That they're trying to make him very gentle, so you can. It's friendly.
Even with the hoofed.
Yeah. Oh,
man,
yeah.
He's got hoofed feet, even
feet,
all the way.
and it's got a pointed tail and whole 9 yards, dude.
Really, a pointed tail?
Yes. Let me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scroll into the face here.
He looks like Mickey Mouse, but with wings.
Okay. Here's the face.
What
close up. This is the alien. All right. Now. At
Bahama Fett or whatever, is that what his name is?
Oh, I don't even remember the name. I don't remember the name.
How do you say that name? You guys know it.
Okay.
Bahama Fett.
Now, when it appears, the alien appears.
Holy cow.
Okay, when the alien appears, it's like it's very, very sad because it's saying to these 2 people who he's communicating to one guy. It was like the person of the main contact, right? And they want to have kids, but the alien is telling them don't have kids because it's going to be very sad. All of the kids in the whole world are going to go. They're going to get raptured, right? And the alien is very sad, very sorrowful. Like they're trying to make you feel that, you know what, he's actually very sad that all the kids are going to disappear. basically,
So they're like playing like he's good inside.
Yes,
No
yes.
matter what he looks like,
he is
he's
good.
Even though like everybody in the world grew up looking at that as being the most evil thing in the whole
Absolutely.
world. You know, like in cartoons and
Yes.
movies and
Yes.
you name it, right?
Right.
Now all of a sudden they're turning it to
He's good.
this guy. I mean, that guy's the same one. When when everybody poses for pictures at concerts, actually everywhere now. It used to be only at concerts, and they go like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Right.
That's who they're doing. That's what this
Right,
means.
right.
It means that
Right,
guy.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
And
That guy. Oh.
and
jeez.
it's very, I don't know what to think, you guys. I mean, yes, it's a movie, but I have told you for years and years on this show that what they are telling us on TV, there's a little bit of factual involved here, and I think they're conditioning us. I mean, if you guys saw this series, if you haven't, then go see it right now, or not right now, after the show. On the Sci-Fi, if you have Comcast, go to On Demand. It's free. There's 3 parts. I think each part is like 2 hours long. But, dude, I mean, I don't know what else to say. When I saw this, I was literally blown away. I went, you gotta be kidding me. And there were people before, after the first or the second part, were texting me and emailing me, Jeff, have you seen Childhood? And you need to see it. You need to see it. It's because what you guys have been talking about on your show for the past 3-4 years, it's all in this movie, in this series.
Oh my God. I need to see it now.
Yeah, you do.
Just because of that.
Yeah. It would blow you away. For all those who have been watching and listening to us, it's like, was the Sci-Fi listening to us? Because I tried to get on the Sci-Fi. I tried to take our talk show to the Sci-Fi. I was even talking to the Sci-Fi about 7-8 months ago. I mean, I was literally talking to the president and the whole 9 yards, and they passed on us because they said that on the paranormal side, it was just going to be ghost hunters, and the other one is paranormal witness, I think. And that's all the paranormal they were going to go to. But they were watching our shows, trying to get a feel for us, and then they passed on us. But it's kind of weird that...
Well, they had the inside knowledge of this.
Well, it was...
I mean, if they watched the show and caught one where we were talking about that...
but this is off of a book, though. Clark. What's his name? It's completely...
Clark Kent?
No. No, Charles... I forgot his last... I'll pull it up right now. But this is off a book, guys. It's not like... I looked at the book and on the internet, and the pictures that were drawn in the book is nowhere near this. They went all out, and I mean, this is like scary. I mean, this is just scary, guys. So,
I agree.
but if you haven't seen it, go see it. I recommend this because it will blow you away, like it did me and my wife when we were watching it. We're going, no freaking way. I go, Alan has got to see this. He's gonna poop in his
Boy,
pants.
I didn't know what anybody was talking about.
Yeah.
They were telling me that I could go online and there was pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But even if I saw that picture, I wouldn't know
What
Yeah,
it's about.
all I got the gist of it from everyone was they said it's what you said, that the aliens are
The Great
coming
Deception.
back as good,
Mhm.
and tricking everyone.
But
and-
looking like this.
I had no idea. I was thinking gray aliens.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
No, and everybody in the mothership looks like this. All of them look like this.
oh wow.
So, yeah.
Well, like I know, the first time I heard about them putting dates or information in movies was like the 9/11 thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to town on. I couldn't believe that Hollywood would put what they're gonna do, tell you the truth. I didn't know that they would tell you the truth. So I Googled for days and looked at videos and all kinds of stuff and cartoons, and I followed every link, and I came to the conclusion that a good 8 years before 9/11, they were putting 9/11 all over the place, and they were showing us 9/11.
Yep. Okay, now look at I'm on the internet right now, so I believe you can see this. Go to screen.
Well, I'm not getting any chat.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Are you getting messages?
Cheryl. Oh, hold on. Tell Ellen to reboot the iPad. Everyone's bugging me. Reboot the iPad.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well, get out of there. Yeah, get out of there and then go back in or something. But there you go. I'm gonna show you
I
right.
did it 3 times.
All right.
Already.
Arthur C. Clarke. Sorry, guys, I should have known that by heart. Arthur C. Clarke wrote this book, and it's called Childhood End. So this is his story. But the question is, where did he get the story? Like, where did Steven Spielberg get all those images of aliens and all these? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I say they're given information. All these people who are big in Hollywood, big in the industry where they can reach millions of people. I believe they're given information. That's what I believe. I really do. All right.
Yeah, that guy probably was told to write the book by those things, right?
May very well be.
I mean, maybe they even downloaded it to him, like abducted him and then probed him and just, sent it right to his brain.
Mm-hmm. But now, obviously, I've never read the book. Oh, crap. Hold on. Let's go to images again. Sorry, guys. What happened there? Okay. Well, anyways, but that gives you an idea. All right. But like I said, if you haven't seen it, please go see it. If you have Comcast, I don't know if it's on demand. If you can get it on demand and watch it, please watch it. It's going to basically be like a review of what we've been talking about here on the show. And neither of us have ever read this book. All right. Are you on chat now?
I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
I'm just like,
What?
oh, I'm seeing old news, but
Oh, okay.
like a delay. It makes me
Right.
laugh sometimes.
Oh, delay.
It's like rerun.
Okay. All right. Let's see what else that
yeah.
I want to talk about. I believe I had something else on here. I had that and I had that. I just wanted to blow you away with the devil, Satan looking
Dude,
alien.
you just blew me away. I mean, I didn't even know where you're going with it at all, and
it threw me for a loop when I saw that on.
there's probably somebody in chat that sent me a message last night on Facebook going, "Oh, there it is, like going crazy.
It's been a while since it's been on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it had.
Well, they said they were watching it last night.
Oh, it's on demand then. Probably on demand.
And they were telling me everybody in the whole world needs to watch it.
and I recommend this, you guys. Somehow Alan's gonna have to watch this somehow. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but it's not on YouTube. So, all right. But it's very spooky, very very scary. What I saw on TV, a couple days ago, and I wanted to show it to you guys because, wow. All right. What else was going on? New Year's is coming up, obviously, on Thursday night, Friday. Supposedly, everybody is on high alert. Here we go again, right?
High alert.
High alert meaning the terrorists is planning some activity right around New Year's. Well, that's what they're saying. So who knows what's going to happen? I'm glad nothing happened during the Star Wars opening because I would have swore up and down that would have been the apt time for something to happen. But so I'm glad they're not watching our show.
I think they better watch out. Like, I don't think they know what they're doing. Like, everybody might be afraid, but like I have some friends in law enforcement and the military, and I have some friends that like guns. Okay. And I know for a fact this Christmas and Thanksgiving, like Black Friday, there was more guns bought than ever before, right? And everybody I know is getting a concealed weapons permit. I mean that all the people that are against guns, they are in the minority. They're louder than everyone else because we don't go around saying, guns, guns, guns. Right. But only they're louder, but only the The ones with the guns are quieter, but they shoot straight. So these guys, these ISIS guys, if they say, I'm going to be, watch out at the Star Wars or something like that, there's going to be a bunch of people that goes with guns just because they made a threat.
Right.
So, I mean, I would feel pretty safe going, I think, because I think the problem will probably go away. You know what I mean? They're going to get shot up so bad.
I hope so.
And one of my military guys' friends even said, like, all they have to do is remind them what happened to them when they went in Iraq. Like, we cleaned up.
Why did the thing shut down?
It's at the end of it.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
But we cleaned up. I mean, we tore them up. They can't win against us. And if they're going to come in our country, they're going up against all those vets that are out now that cleaned their clock.
Right. Okay.
I tried to download that.
Yeah. Alan's going to do something really quick, so I'm putting up a screen capture of Paranormal Central. Yes, that's right. It is our logo. There you go. Eventually we're going to get shirts made, guys. I swear we are.
I was actually working on that.
Yeah, right. That's what you always say.
I have some cool stuff.
Cool stuff. Alan is saying he has some cool stuff. Yeah, right. So, okay. All right. And, right. Sit down. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and we're gonna have Chris call in. All right, Chris, go ahead and call in, man, and we're gonna talk to him and see what's going down with his life and what's been going on in his life and what he's been doing and all this kind of stuff. So we'll get him on the line right now. He should be calling us. He's calling in from Paso Robles, I believe. So he's not far away from us at all. So we're gonna have him. He's gonna call in. I gave him the number. He should be calling in any time. Make sure I have it up. All right. So how's everybody doing out there? Yeah. All right. Come on, Chris. Right? Is that his name, Chris? I sure hope so. From Paso Robles, California, wine country. We go out there. My wife's mother-in-law lives in Morro Bay. It was a missed call. Why? I didn't even hear it come in. Call in, dude. Try again. I didn't even hear it call in. Wow, that's weird. Said missed call. It didn't even hear it. What a trip. All right. I'll call you back. I don't know what's going on here, guys. They're blocking his number. I don't know why. There he goes. There he is. Are you there? Hey, Chris.
I'm there.
Hey, right on.
Hey,
how you doing?
real good.
Sound good, too. Awesome.
Yeah, he does.
On your landline, I assume. Can you hear us all right?
Yep.
All right, right on.
I thought,
Loud and clear. Yeah, I can hear you guys good.
Okay, cool. All right. So, all right. How long have you been watching us? Chris.
Probably for about 6 to 8 months.
Oh, that's wow. Okay, I thought it was longer than that for some reason.
That's long.
Well, there's been people who've been with us since.
Oh, yeah.
Me from the very beginning when we only had 20 viewers,
Yeah.
10 viewers, and I was all excited. All right, so you called me. Actually, you've been on chat a while, and you've been talking to everybody. You've been talking to Sock Monkey, and so you wanted to call in because you have had situations where you have seen things. Do you have a gift? Is that what it is? Can you see things?
Yeah, you might consider it a gift in some ways. It's been a curse, actually. I mean, this started for me, my earliest memories, when I was probably 4 or 5 years old. And so, as a small child, it was kind of a lot to take in and, remember, no one believes a word you're saying and everything. So I felt like I was quite alone for a lot of years.
Didn't like in my family, I don't know if it's like regular or normal, but there's more than one person like that. You know what I mean? Like some of the older folks have it, and they were surprised that some of the younger kids were saying it. And first they told us, nah, you're not seeing it, it's all your imagination, stuff like that. Then when you got a little bit older and you wouldn't stop talking about it, you know what I mean? Then they were like, okay, and then explained everything. Like, you didn't have any sensitive people in your family, just you?
My mom had she was a little bit psychic. The phone would ring when I was a kid, and she'd say, "Oh, it's so and so from Nebraska, where my parents came from." That someone they didn't talk to very often, and sure enough, she'd be right all the time. And then later in life, I had some interesting kind of psychic kind of connections with my mother when she was sick in the hospital, and so I think that if it's hereditary, I probably would have gotten it from my mother.
Cool, man.
Okay.
I kind of figured, because it usually does. Sometimes it'll skip a generation or whatever. But
All right. So so when you called me, you said that basically what we have been talking about, what we have been telling people what to say in order to get rid of the evil, it works because you have used it, right?
Yes, absolutely. And that's, I suffered for many, many years, and I was always a believer, but I wasn't, that serious about my faith. And, I had called churches and everything, and without being offensive to anybody, I called every denomination there is. I called Catholic churches, Protestant churches, their take was either you're bringing this on yourself, or you're crazy, or you're making this all up for attention. They offered no help. And then I started getting into the Word more and more, and I thought, wait a second here, God has given us all the abilities to battle these things ourselves. And the problem is that the more, and we've gotten in this a little bit in the chat room, the more you help people, or the more you talk about this, the more you put a big target on your back. And they don't, a couple of people in chat, and even Heidi has said, yeah, they hate her, and that's absolutely true, that you put a big, target on your back. But once I started invoking the name of Jesus Christ, and more specifically, the blood of Christ, I found out I had a very valuable tool.
Okay, so all those people right now who are listening, and you just heard the word Jesus Christ. Okay, don't let that scare you. This is a paranormal, supernatural show. And the reason why we're talking about this is because Alan and myself, in many occasions, have gone out. This is what we do. We're investigators, all right? We are investigators. We're just not up here talking about stuff and getting on the internet and stealing other people's stories. We have our own personal stories. Why? Because we go out in the mountains looking for this dude here. We go into people's homes when they call us and say, hey, there's something very bad, evil in my house. Can you please come and get rid of it? We do it.
And we take empaths and what do they call it? And all the ghost busting equipment that everybody has,
Right.
K2 meters,
Right.
and
We have all that.
yeah, we do it. We don't just go in there and say in the name of Jesus. I mean, we
Be gone!
yeah, we do an investigation because sometimes the people could be really dealing with magnetic.
Yeah, I mean,
anomalies inside their house. You don't know, but when you finally get down to the brass tacks, it like when they say, "Okay, I'm so scared, I want this out."
Right.
We could do that too.
Right. I own a DVR with all these, killer night vision cameras. We did this stuff for a long time. We went into people's homes. We set up the equipment. Sometimes we got stuff. Sometimes we didn't. But we realized that what good are we doing telling them what they already know? Okay, yep, I think your house is haunted. Have a good day. Bye.
Yep. We'll see you. You're going to move somewhere else.
Yeah, that's not what we wanted to occur. We're here because we're trying to help all of you out there by giving you information that you will not get anyplace else. All right.
And it's supernatural. I
It's
mean, this dude
absolutely
walked on
super-
water and supposedly took his body with him when he died.
Okay. This is
Name one guy who did that yet. That's
right.
supernatural.
You know, right. Supernatural stuff. That's what we talk about here in paranormal. It's all that I think it's all in that same genre. All right. So that's why when you hear, you know, Jesus Christ, oh my God, they're talking religion. I am out of here. I don't want to hear that crap. I'm atheist. Well, you know, that's fine. We have people who are atheists who watch this show, and they also hate it when we talk about the subject. But when I have people who call in after I've told them what to say, and they say, you know what, it worked, then how do you explain that? Is it just by the power of the mind and the household, of the family decided that all of them together would think, "Be gone, Satan"? And
what was some of your things, Chris, that like proved that to you? Like some of the, I mean, because you have to have something happen. I mean, like an experiment by your own self where you try it. What was some of the things that happened that you went through the battle of the learning process to get to where you have the belief now?
Well, my first real negative experiences happened when I moved out of my parents' house. I bought my first house when I was 23 years old, and it was a brand new house. It wasn't like I moved into someone's old beat-up house. I actually built the house. I knocked down a house and had rebuilt a house, and from day one, I had paranormal activity on, night one. And this continued on to be, I mean, that in and of itself, just talking about that one house could be, a show in and of itself. I had, my dog was fighting something every night. I had a golden retriever that, was fighting something invisible almost every night. I had things flying around. There was, I had things that would come up missing and broken. I had people in my house that had been attacked. I had this stuff that looked like blood coming out of the walls. I mean, it sounds like a kooky,
sound like The Exorcist,
sci-fi movie, but people think this is all, fun and games, or it's made up, and it's not. I mean, when you're experiencing it, it's life and death. I mean, I really felt, unfortunately, like the place that I had to live, I felt every time I walked in like I was in danger, and this went on for years and years. And the reason that I had left the place is my 10-month-old son had gotten attacked, and that was enough for me. That at that time I still hadn't figured out, how to battle these things. So I did what any normal parent would do, and for the safety of my child, I got the heck out of there. And I was in that house for about 7 years, and then the next place I went to live, these things kept happening. In every place I've ever worked, I've seen things, and once I figured out that to use the word, because the Bible, people shy away from it in relation to paranormal, but the Bible is a supernatural book. Mm-hmm. When you look at it, I mean, look at all the the miracles in the Bible. They're supernatural, and people are right when they comment that Jesus is a supernatural being, and he gives us all the rights. He said to trample scorpions underfoot and do your own thing, and I've helped probably about a dozen people, and that's my big motivation in speaking about this. And I'm thinking about writing a book because I really don't want anybody to suffer like I did. I suffered for a lot of years, and I wouldn't wish this kind of life on my worst enemy. And now that I've figured out the key to helping people, and you guys are really doing a good job of helping people too, because you're giving them tools that they need to fix things. Like you said, these paranormal shows, they go in, they stir things up, and then they leave. And then they leave the family worse off. And you guys are giving them tools to use. And like someone said in chat, if you're an unbeliever and you're not right with God, it doesn't matter what you say. You're going to get attacked and you may get killed trying this.
However,
why? If you're right with God, and there's there's some fasting and prayer sometimes that need to be done. I mean, we all have the power. It's not, I always tell people I'm nothing. I'm like a piece of conduit. The energy doesn't come from me. It comes from God. But I feel lucky that I can, help some people. And like I said, it puts a target on your back. I wouldn't be surprised if, after the show tonight, I have something interesting, that happens to me. So I'll definitely be saying some prayers for my own protection and for my family following the show, because the devil and the evil, they don't like information out there. They just don't. They don't like what you guys are doing. They don't like what Heidi does. They certainly don't like what I do. They don't like what some of the people in chat are doing to help each other. And you've got the people in chat on your show are very. You've got a very intelligent group of chat people following your show, which says a lot about your what you guys are doing.
Like, one of the things that never gets talked about, when you touched on it, like when you said you'll get attacked, right? What people don't realize is when you're born, the devil owns you. He owns you already because of the curse that happened, however many thousand years ago, that Jesus had to come back and die to buy back. But he gave us something that he didn't even give the angels. That makes us more special than angels. That's what everybody doesn't understand. Is we're like family to him, right? We're his offspring or his family. But he gave us a decision. You got to make a choice. And he gives you everything in the world. To make the right choice. But everybody thinks they hoo-ha it by popular opinion or whatever. They don't want to be laughed at or mocked, and they make the wrong choice, or they don't make a choice. Well, not making a choice leaves you out. That's the thing. You have to make the choice to be in, otherwise you're out. You're totally out. In fact, somebody was showing me the other day that God said he created us in his image, right? Well, if we never came to live inside of a human body, everybody would look the same. You would look like a spirit, like a glowing light being. But when you get in your physical flesh, then you become the personality and the look of your own thing, right? So that way when you die, you keep that image. You know what I mean? You keep the image. And it's an interesting thing to think about. I don't even know if that's 100% true, but only I know that he gave us these things that works, like you were saying, and it works every single time. And I tried everything. I was having the same thing as you. In fact, I was just talking to my son. He works at a power plant, and he was saying that he texted me the other night, and he was saying he already had 5 shadows buzz by him in his peripheral vision, and he was getting scared, and he's out at this power plant all by himself, all kinds of banging noises and everything, and he wanted to know how to protect himself. And the only thing I could tell him was, using the only thing that can protect yourself.
Now, Chris, when in your life did you realize saying these words helped you? How did you figure it out?
I was in the last house I lived in before I lived here, and I was really getting into the Word, and this is going to sound unbelievable, but on top of everything else I've observed in life, I was in my kitchen, and I've got really good peripheral vision. I always have, and I was just getting something out of a pantry. I had like a rectangular kitchen. Out of the corner of my eye, something caught my eye, and I looked over, and there was an actual demon standing in my kitchen. And to describe it, it was about 4 foot tall. It wasn't very big, but if you took a Shar-Pei dog and a gargoyle and kind of mashed those two together, and it had glowing red eyes. And my first inclination, to be perfectly honest with everyone, is I was scared for about 2 seconds. I was like, I was in shock. And then my shock instantly turned to anger, and I said, there's no way I'm letting something like this be in my house. And I said, by the power of Jesus Christ and the blood of Jesus, you're not to be here. And I ran toward it and charged it. And it went into the other room. When I got to the other room, it was gone. But it was just like people will tell you, there was a really strong smell of sulfur and rotten eggs. And I even called my wife and my son. I go, come here, get in here and come here. And they could even smell it was like lingering, in the air that this thing was gone. And I said, that's it. I've got to start protecting the property. And so I got the idea of, I did more reading, and I actually went on the four corners of my property like a perimeter and laid up a perimeter of prayer, just saying, God, I don't want to live, I don't want to have to do this anymore. Please protect my home. And that was right before I moved out. And when I moved up here, I've been up here in the Central California area for about 2.5 years now. And when I got here, before my wife got here, I literally walked the perimeter and I got on my knees. I said, God, I don't want to live in a house like this anymore. I need a place of rest so that I can feel protected. And what I did was I asked for 6 angels, top, bottom, all 4 sides. And I said, I'm gonna stay in the faith for as long as I'm on this earth, God. Please give me your angels to guard my property. And I can honestly say, for the first 2.5 years of my 54, I haven't seen or heard anything inside this house. So to me, that's a miracle. And I feel I feel like standing in front of a pulpit and screaming hallelujah, because when you live such a horrible life for so many years and you get deliverance, words can't even describe how I feel having a place that I can feel comfortable in. The other day, though, I saw, speaking of the perimeter of my house, I was helping someone the other day, and on my neighbor's roof, I saw about a 7-foot shadow person just standing there. Mm-hmm. I looked at this thing for 5 seconds before it went, full on. So it's funny to me because I don't think they can get on my property, but they still want to, they'll still want to be nosy and look and see what you're doing. And I guess one of the scariest things is when you help someone. Like I said, you put a target on your back, and I want to recount the story just so you guys can see how serious this is. And this happened about 4 years ago, and I had just been helping a family that lives in New Jersey, actually. And I helped them get through some really heavy stuff that they had with their son and some really bad demonic things, and I'd sent them some info. And I used to ride a bicycle to commute to work, and my commute wasn't very long. It was about 4 miles, and I bicycle commuted for years and years. I'm very experienced riding on the street, and I've never had even an incident of any kind. And so on this particular day, I was at a stoplight, and the light turned green for our direction. And I got up on the pedals and took a couple pedal strokes, and the car next to me was going, and all of a sudden the car next to me stopped. And I didn't see or hear anything, and I pedaled a couple more times, and then all of a sudden a car went through the red light, and this is about 3 seconds after we have green. It had blacked out windows, and it was doing about 75 miles an hour. And here's the weird part. I'm a car guy. I can identify just about every kind of car there is on the road, and this was a car that I couldn't identify, like the styling of it and everything, and the windows were blacked out. And it was so close to running me over. The other cars that were going the other direction, that were stopped for the light, going the other direction, the crosswalk, I looked over at them, and their mouths were all open like, oh, my God, you almost got killed. It was literally inches.
Wow. So
I get to work, and I have my normal work day. I ride home. So the next day, I'm a little bit shaken up. I don't want to ride again, obviously, because, I feel like I'm in danger. So I drive my pickup to work, and I get out of the truck, and I have a backpack with my little computer and stuff in the back seat. And so I get out of the truck. I open the back door of the truck to get my backpack out, and I look down, and I see, and we'll get to this a little bit later about different shadow beings, but it looked like snakes, like boa constrictors were at my feet, like 10 of them. Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden, these shadows are at my feet, coiling around my feet, and I'm like, what the heck? And so I kind of lift my feet up and I back away from the truck. Well, when I back away from the truck, I hear this noise out of my ear, and it's a roaring engine. And I look up, and there's this red pickup truck, like angling toward me at about 50 miles an hour. Well, the thing is, I had to grab my open door and like push my body back inside to the open car to avoid getting run over. I mean, he missed me by inches, and the weird thing is, this pickup truck, I couldn't see a driver, and I swear I could not tell you the make and model of this truck. It looked like something that was made up, but it was real. You know what I mean? It wasn't, it wasn't a, say a ghost vehicle or something. It was real. And after it missed me, it kept angling towards me. It bounced off the curb and then went around the corner really slow. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I almost got run over 2 days in a row.
Do you think?
So, I mean, I went into work, and I don't scare too easily. I've got to admit, I was pretty shaken up. I mean, I was close to getting run over again by this unknown, looking vehicle. So you have to be careful, when you're helping people, when you're talking about this stuff, because, the enemy doesn't like it.
No. And that is for sure, because here at Paranormal Central, you guys, things happen to Alan and myself. When I say happens, they're trying to take us out. And no, I don't want to say take us out. They're trying to slow the process. They're trying to put blockades. They're trying to divert us from coming on this show every Sunday and doing what we're doing. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, am I imagining all the stuff that's been happening to us? No.
At first, we thought we were.
Yeah, it's like, come on,
first,
really?
I
mean,
it was like, oh, that was like, well, we don't believe in coincidences.
No.
But it wasn't a coincidence. And then, I mean, just for me, I've been in and out of the hospital and 4 heart stents and a surgery, and my car broke, and I mean, the water heater busted. I mean, things are just like one after the other, after the other, after the other.
Right.
And that's a gauge for me to know I'm doing something right. Like, we're doing something right. The more problems we have, the more we're doing it right. Because he don't like it.
Right.
And
Alan seems to think that the more things that happen to us that are bad, the
larger the reward.
Right. And we're hoping that's going to be the case. Now, I don't know in what way. I just, Alan has always felt something superb is going to happen to this show. It just, very, very cool that we are.
It has been happening.
It has,
I mean, like, from when I said that, it was when we were 25 viewers or less.
Oh, that's right.
And now I couldn't even count how many around the world.
I mean, we have like 180 in chat right now.
Yeah.
Not just in chat.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, now.
That's the most. I go in a lot of shows, and that's the most I ever see in a chat. Usually 26 is about the highest you see in anybody's shows.
Right.
Anybody's.
Right.
I don't see anybody 100 nothing.
Right. So, all right, now, when you said, the car, the vehicle, you couldn't figure out the make of it. The same goes for the pickup truck. Right away, and I'm not trying to denounce this in any shape or way or form, but let's say that there are people out there who monitor people here on Earth, that they know they have special gifts, special knowledge, because the vehicles that try to run you down very well could be part of, and I'm just going to say it, the Men in Black, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe they are, because you're helping people, right? And we're helping people. They're trying to slow us down in certain ways. I don't think, because of where we're at now with the popularity of the show, if they were to do something very drastic to either one of us, like get hit by a car. Let me tell you guys something, and I've told this story once before, and like I said, there are no coincidences. I am aware of my surroundings. I'm a pretty bright dude, and for some reason I can catch on. I can put two and two together. I know when things are happening that I'm saying, well, that is not a coincidence. That was meant to happen. And Alan and Danny know what I'm talking about. When I knew that I was stepping on toes. Now, for you guys who don't know, I work for AT&T Telephone. All right, I'm a technician out in the field. I climb poles for a living. That's what I do. This was, God, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I was up. Now, Fresno, California, we do not, in city, we do not have earthquakes. We only have, when we have tremors or whatever, maybe Mono Lake, maybe Bass Lake out there in the foothills.
Or the Bay Area.
Or the Bay Area,
yeah.
but not downtown Fresno. All right, now let me tell you what happened to me.
And that's forever.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen here.
Right.
It doesn't happen here. Now, for all those who have been watching me and watching my Facebook for years and years, I started putting on my Facebook wall information that you guys should know. And that included earthquakes, tremors, Kalinga, Kettleman City. That's where the earthquakes occur. I always put 2.5, 4.3, 3.5. I always put them on my Facebook wall to let everybody know. Now, I was working one day, and I was climbing a pole, and I remember right around that time is I was doing some investigating on some government situation, UFOs here in Fresno, California. Right, I was climbing a pole. I was in an alley.
It was the
It was on White Avenue. I don't know what
spot. Not the spot. The ruins.
I don't know.
I think it was we were doing the ruins, or
no,
it was
it was way. It was
stuff,
no. It was way before that though. It was We were in this room here, the middle room where my kids playing. That's when I.
That was the first time.
That was a long time ago. So anyways, I was climbing a pole because I was doing some work. Right. I don't know what it was. Maybe 15 feet up in the sky, 17 feet, and nothing of it. I did what I had to do. I came back down, and that night or that day after I got home, I got on my app of my phone, and I noticed there was a 2.5 earthquake in Fresno. I went, holy smokes. So I hit the particular alert, and I zoomed in on it, and the earthquake happened a half a block where I was up the pole at. And I was going, you got to be freaking kidding me.
They were trying to knock you off the pole.
They were trying to knock me off the pole. I didn't feel it. Now, obviously, that day, when you climb up a whole pole that high, the pole sways back and forth. So, and if it's windy, I sway back and forth. So I don't remember anything. The only thing I remember that day is I dropped my needle nose pliers to the ground, and that's just for some reason I remember that. But you guys, let me tell you something. I tell you, there are no coincidences. That 2.5 happened half a block where I was climbing up that pole at exactly the same time. I swear to God, and that you guys know that I'm a religious person. Well, I'm telling you right now, that actually happened to me. And after that day, I just completely threw everything out the door that I knew, and I said, okay, this is just crazy stuff here, guys. What are the odds of a 2.5 happening half a block from where I was up a pole? Right around the same time. All right? I cannot explain that. The only thing I thought is that somebody was sending me a message. Right there. You better watch yourself. And I will always remember that happening to me. Always.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. One
happens.
earthquake in fucking in 15 years. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. I'm just. This is serious because this happened to me, and to this day, I always think about how can somebody, point and say I want a 2.5 there, and have it happen. Well, it happened that day. I was up a pole, and after that day, I always now watch my back. Whatever I'm doing, I know my surroundings now when I'm on a ladder or on a pole. I don't care where I'm at in Fresno, California. My eyes are peeled for vehicles. I remember there were some white vehicles following me sometimes too, and I remember seeing them. But then all of a sudden, I caught on, and they completely stopped. But anyways, Chris, see, when you said those vehicles almost ran you down, I think it's because they know that you're trying to help. And they're trying to either slow you down or by the way it looked like to take you out.
Yeah, take you out.
Right. And see, you're not in the limelight. So you can get hit by a car and no one's going to give a you-know-what. Because you're just an ordinary person out there.
Yep.
But for us, if I were to get hit by a car or get shot on a pole or on a ladder, then step back and let's find out, okay, what did Jeff just talk about last week, or what has he been really pushing for this to happen? And I already have measures.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
place.
that to me.
So yeah, I mean, again, could when you mentioned the vehicle, the movie Christine came to mind. That the name of the Christine, right? that right away hit me. I'm going, what, the movie Christine, right?
Or a ticked off Knight Rider.
It's funny you said that. It's funny you say that too, because the truck was red.
Oh.
See? Wow. Okay. Now, since you know how to combat evil, why do you think the religions of the world, Catholics, Christians, Mormons, why are they not telling their parishioners, their audiences, how to do it?
They don't do it. They're not the right one.
I've always wondered that, because when I was asking different churches for help, they gave me the runaround and made me feel like I was kind of a criminal, and they didn't want. A lot of them didn't even want to talk about it. And I'm thinking, that to me, there's so much evil going on in the world, and for those that have mentioned in chat, and I agree with them. I think that as we move farther away from God, our protective veil that we've had, throughout history is being lifted, and we ourselves as a human race, we're willfully going away from God and going out from the protection of this umbrella. And I don't think that organized religion, knows how to get this simple message across that things are going to get worse before they get better. And if you look at the paranormal stuff now, I mean, look at just the fact that your show exists. Even 10, 15 years ago, if you said, hey, I'm going to do a show about ghosts or something, they might have thought you were nuts. And if you talked about paranormal issues, you were crazy. Today, how many paranormal shows are out there, and ghost shows? And, there's so many ghost shows out there that, quite frankly, they all, they bother me, because like you said, they go to a house, they stir things up, and they leave. They make it worse. The only one out there I've seen that's worth anything is that newer one that the ex-cop from New York has, the demonologist, the guy that did that movie. His name is Ralph Sarchi. I mean, his show is pretty good because he tries to help them, and if they screw around with them and lie to them, he just up and walks. He just says, hey, I'm not going to waste my time on you guys. And that, that's the other thing that people have to understand, that if you really want to have the power to fight these things, there's some certain things you can and can't do. And a lot of the advice I give people are, the first thing, if you're a drinker or recreational drug user, I'm not saying there's anything, wrong with it. Every person to themselves. But when it comes to battling these things, you can't do that because that's an opening. That's a crack in the armor. So the first thing you do is you have to stop that. And if you are doing, second of all, you have to get rid of, anything that's negative or could be demonic in your house. If you have tarot cards or Ouija boards and whatnot, you'd have to get rid of, that kind of stuff to make it, to make it work as well. And then, thirdly, you have to kind of be right with God. And I think most religions just don't know how to, I think they're afraid of losing. I mean, it was kind of a long answer to your question, but I think they're afraid of losing congregants, because if you tell someone that you have to be a better Christian and you have to be brave and face these things head on, you're going to lose 90% of your audience right there, because they're not going to believe you or they're just not going to do it. So, unfortunately, I think the job of getting the word out there has to be either single individuals like myself, and I'm sure there's many others, or from shows like yours that are real shows that try to help people instead of just blowing smoke and for ratings. I mean, to me, you guys are more legit because you're more interested with truth and helping people and talking about real things and getting real opinions than you are ratings. But yet your ratings are good because you guys are truthful. And that's where I think your niche is, and that's why, you said Alan feels that your show's going to go a long way. I do as well, like I told you when we spoke on the phone. I think your guys' show is different than anything else out there, And it's going to take people like you, brave people like you that put yourselves out there. I mean, you and Alan put yourselves out there each week, and so does Heidi and, other people like her. And I'll do it. I tell my friends that know me, I'm available 24/7. They give my cell phone, and I've had people call me at 2 a.m, horrified. And I've gotten up and put on my clothes and driven an hour and a half to someone's house at 2 a.m. that needed me. And I wish I would have had someone help me like that when I was, when I was more naive and I was putting up with all this stuff. And the thing is, these things are just nasty. I never understood why they do things in threes. And you guys have mentioned it before, the things in threes, that they're mocking the Trinity. And I would wake up and I would hear these things, and they'd moan names. Mm-hmm. And I started putting a pad next to my bed, and I'd write the names down. And the next day I'd go online, and it would be the name of some obscure demon.
Right.
And they were laughing about it. They thought it was just the funniest thing ever that they were doing this. And as of lately, and like I said, this is a whole nother program, really, but I don't know. A lot of people have different ideas on ghosts, and I think a lot of people say, well, my Uncle Jim came to see me last night, and this and that, and I really take the biblical view, where it says, absent from the body, present with the Lord, and I think demons impersonate loved ones quite often, and I've actually gotten in my own life. I've gotten proof. My dad passed away about 3 years ago, and I was super close to my dad. Well, I had a dream. Just a couple weeks ago, actually, where my dad was in this dream, and so I started asking him, and I'm not sure, to be perfectly frank with you guys, I'm not sure that my dad's even in heaven, but, because I'm not sure he, ever really accepted, but I asked him, I says, hey, Dad, I want to ask you some questions about heaven. Even in dream world, I'm trying to ask smart questions. And as he started telling me things, and even in my dream, I'm thinking, well, why in the heck would I want to be a Christian if this is the way it is? And then all of a sudden it dawned on me. I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't my dad. And in the dream I said, who are you? And all of a sudden, the person that looked like my dad transfigured into something else and vanished.
Wow.
And I woke up really upset because, like most people, I miss my dad a lot. He was a big influence on my life and everything else. And Satan and his evil, he'll stop at nothing to get to you. And he'll use loved ones, he'll use children, he'll use your wives, he'll use your, husbands, wives, work people. And, you have to be on guard. for that. And I woke up so angry, kind of angry, thinking, how dare you use, my father, against me, like, trying to do it against me like that, trying to get me to believe something that wasn't, of God or of, biblically speaking. I mean, for me, my life is simple. I judge everything against the Bible, and if it, that's the smell test for me.
Well,
if it's biblically correct, then I give it, more credence than if it's just something I think or feel,
See, what you're talking about. That's almost how everybody that I know that learns this stuff learns it. They don't learn it from the church, or I mean, they might learn some basics or something like that of the stories, but learning how to actually use it for your life and protection of your family and stuff like that, they really don't teach you that stuff. Like, they're more interested in having you come down the aisle and giving your life to the Lord. Well, like, if you already did that, then you need to they need time to teach you what probably the guy don't even know. You know what I mean? The guy in the church doesn't, even the pastor, whatever, might not even know how to do this stuff. Like,
yeah, I mean, because there's so much practical use in what you're saying, Alan, and I couldn't agree, 100%. And another thing, when you truly have God, and I know it's a paranormal show, and I don't want to get on a soapbox, but for instance, I used to smoke for years. 20 years or better, a pack-a-day smoker, and I just got tired of it. And one night I was sitting there smoking a cigarette, and I said, I'm really tired of this. I put the cigarette out, and out loud I said, God, I really want to quit smoking. I said, if you do your part and you don't give me any of these horrific cravings, I'll do my part, and I'll really try to just, stay away from them. And that's all I said. And then the next day, I made my coffee, and, as most smokers know, what do you want with your cup of coffee? A smoke, of course.
First thing.
And I left the cigarette sitting there, and everything I looked at them, I never had a craving. And it's been 4.5 years. My wife still smokes, and I've never taken another puff. And, people think that's, quitting smoking supposedly is harder than heroin, and it's just, it's a simple thing, but yet I use it as just a way to witness to people that if you're sincere about your relationship with God, anything is possible. And so when these things are in your life and they're pestering you and they're bothering you and you know what it is, I mean, you can fix this. God's given you the power to fix it. We all have it inside of us. And I always say, Jesus has me living within him, and I have him living within me. That's our connection.
Man,
and I believe that. And, without getting, too corny, but that's what I really believe. And when it comes to paranormal, I've seen some things that I'll give you a quick story. We mentioned, I think, Jeff, when we were talking, I saw a guy that actually transformed from a human to something that looked very reptilian to me. And as the story goes, I used to be a long-distance runner, and I was finishing a run, and there was some train tracks that went behind a cemetery, and I was jogging by. There was no sidewalk, so I was kind of in the street, and I was getting ready to cut over onto the sidewalk, and there was a ditch, how they have by train tracks. Sometimes there was a ditch. It was a little bit lower than the street level. And I heard this gibberish coming out of the ditch, like, like just talking gibberish, like yelling. And I looked down, and there was a guy who was dressed in jeans and a T-shirt. And have you guys ever seen someone who has had polio, and you see how they walk and their hips kind of swivel?
Yeah.
And this guy could barely walk. Like, his hips were swiveling really bad, and he was almost dragging his lower half up this little ditch, and I thought, and this was 20-some years ago, and it's right when people started talking about AIDS. And he had like one big mark on his face, like a big round mark, and I thought, oh, maybe this guy's got that new disease that everybody's talking about. Who knows? But I didn't want to get near him because he looked kind of, he looked strange, right? So So I just looked at him, and I didn't say anything to him. I kept jogging by, and then all of a sudden, on the sidewalk, I hear this gibberish behind me, and I'm like, what the heck? And I turn around, and now he's kind of walking down the sidewalk, and he's still dragging one foot, but he's able to walk. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird. The guy could barely move before, you know, and you can't fake, you know, you can't really fake that, you know.
Yeah.
So the guy kept going, and I kept jogging, and all of a sudden I looked behind him, and the guy's pretty much on a jog now. And I thought, wow, this guy's, you know, can really move now. And his skin had gone from regular skin color to like red. So then I was actually more scared because, like I said, I didn't want to touch this guy. You know, it wasn't like a regular bugger you turn around and fight, you know. So I take off at a bigger clip, and you know, we're running down the thing pace, and I turn around, and he gets within about 10 feet. And I look behind, and every inch of his exposed skin now has these, like, bubbles or, like, lizard skin all over it, and his eyes are black. And in Torrance, I used to live in Torrance, and there's a gas company building that's about 100, it's a brick building, it's 2-story, about 100 yards long. And we're in the middle of this building on the sidewalk, and finally, you know, I just got more angry than scared, and I turned around to fight. And when I turned around, the thing was gone. And to me, it couldn't have went right or left or whatever. To me, it had to have went up. And I mean, how do you
disappear?
I mean, how do you?
Because they're dimensional.
Yeah, I mean, how do you explain something like that? It was solid, and it transformed from what looked like a normal person, you know, into this thing that looked reptilian.
Now, why do you think they have been? Hey, Chris, why do you think they've been appearing to you all your life? Though, is just because you can see them? I mean, the gift that you know
Well, they do know that I can see them. That I know because I've seen surprised looks on their faces.
Ah, okay.
But why did it start with me? I don't know. My earliest recollection is waking up in bed and seeing these little green, like, goblin things, probably 2 feet tall, green, but you could see through them like little gnomes almost, and they were all evil, and I used to see them by the dozen. And
I wonder if you can just
I see them, you know, and no one else.
I wonder if you can just see,
and no one else could see them. And I remember running.
I think.
I'm sorry. What?
I think you can see to the to another dimension. It's what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen. One of my hobbies is paleontology, so I'm always out looking for fossils, and I'm digging around in the middle of nowhere. And I once saw a Native American spirit, and it was as solid as, you know, looking at you guys on the screen. And I was out in the desert looking for trilobites in eastern California, almost to Arizona. And I was walking down this spline from a cliff and a ridge, and something just told me to, you know, turn around and look. And I looked, and here stands this Native American guy. I mean, he was standing in front of a boulder, but I could see he had a kind of like a deer skin, you know, like, you know, around his middle, you know, shorts kind of thing, whatever. And he had no shirt on. He had a headband. He was a little bit chubby, and he had long black hair. And when I turned around and looked at him, his eyes got real big, like, oh, shoot, this guy can see me.
Right.
And then he just dropped, like, it just dissolved right into the ground.
Yep.
And so I always double-check everything, even if I see it like that. So, of course, I walked back to the boulder and looked, and, of course, there was no one there, and, you know, there was no human. The boulder wasn't big enough for, you know, a human to stand behind. But, you know, every place I've ever worked, even in public, I see quite a lot of, you know, different spirits and whatnot, and, you know, different hotels I've stayed at. You know, we stayed at a bed and breakfast up in Monterey called the Jabberwock. It's like Alice in Wonderland theme, I guess. But anyway, you guys can look it up. It's a bed and breakfast up in Monterey. And as soon as we walked in, we got there early, and the lady was showing us around. I said, "You know this place is haunted, right?" And she turned around and she said, "How could you even possibly know that?" And I said, "Well, I can see the little girl at the top of the stairs, and the lady about fainted. And the weird thing is about that place is, at night I had this really weird dream that there was like this big eating area, and there was a nun there, and she was praying in front of this guy. And the guy was on his knees, and I thought, in the dream, I thought, oh, this is nice. This nun is praying for this guy for some reason. And then all of a sudden, the guy started screaming, no, no, let me go, and this and that. And as I got closer, the nun wasn't praying. She was saying, like, you know, hail Satan and this kind of stuff. And the guy was transfiguring into some kind of, like, you know, monster or something. And then I woke up, and I was really, like, shook up over the dream. So the next morning, we're down there having breakfast, and this other couple had been there before, and she said, and I said, you know, I was making small talk with her, and I said, well, you know, this old Victorian home is really neat, and it's probably got a lot of history. And she said, yeah, it's kind of funny that it used to be run by a nunnery. And I about choked on my breath. I said, what? And she said, oh yeah, the nuns own this place from the like 50s to the 70s or something like that. And if you guys look it up, you'll see on their website they even talk about it. And so something inside me, or something, you know, some gift, you know, I can, you know, see maybe in the past or the present or whatever. I mean, I've actually also helped, which is probably one of my more prouder accomplishments paranormally, is I actually helped solve a guy who was trying to murder a child in Boise, Idaho. And my ex-secretary used to work for me. She moved to Boise, Idaho, and her and I kept in contact. And she called me one day, and she was really upset. Oh, she actually emailed me. I'm sorry. So we're emailing back and forth, and she says, hey, you know, this guy attacked this girl, and everybody's afraid he's going to come back. And you kind of, she knew I had these skills because her and I were friends. And she goes, can you kind of, you know, think about it, see if you can come up with anything? And I said, okay. And as I started thinking about this, sometimes I can get like a movie screen, and I'll just see things. So I started telling her what I was seeing, and as I was speaking to her, I was getting more and more, my heart was pounding, and I was getting more and more upset because I was seeing this guy sneaking down a canal to try and kill this little girl. And I said, tell the little girl to stay away from the canal. And my secretary said, how could you possibly know? We have this big canal running behind our housing tract, and I've had to tell this little girl to stay out of there. And I said, well, within the next week, this guy's going to come try to get this girl, and he's going to try to kill her. He's going to come up this canal, and I even gave her a description, believe it or not. I said, he's about 30 to 35 years old. He's got red hair. He's got a goatee, and he wears glasses.
She's
and
like,
so
oh, I know that dude.
She goes, okay, I'll tell the mother, and we'll tell the police. And so, I'm sorry?
Oh, I said, she probably said, I know that dude.
Okay. Okay, so, yeah, I know, right? And so, about a week later, she sends me an email, and she goes, oh, my God, you're never going to believe this. And I go, what? And they go, they caught the guy. And I said, how did they catch him? And he said, they did what you said. They staked out the canal, and they caught him coming up the canal. And she goes, you're going to fall out of your chair when I send you the picture that was in the newspaper. She sent me the picture, and I swear the guy had red hair, a goatee, and glasses. He was who I'd seen, the exact guy. Wow. And so they caught him. And so, you know, I'm proud of the fact that, you know, I may have helped a little girl, get rid of this creep that was trying to harm her. But
so we got a new team.
I mean, I try
guy,
to,
right?
I try to.
We got a new team member.
I try to give myself avenues to help people.
Yeah, that's the same thing as me. I do the same thing, and I don't I don't get after people like for smoking or. Everybody has something. Everybody, like, God's not done with me yet, neither. You know what I mean? Like, and He meets you right where you're at. So, and then like we're talking about all these evil attacks and everything. The biggest trick that the devil did so far is make everybody believe he doesn't exist. I mean, he's more sneakier than he is like go after people and attack people. But I was gonna add one more. I don't know how much time we have left, but when you're talking about your dad, my dad passed away at 48. He was not I mean, I won't go into his history, but he was not a good guy, right? But then he found the Lord and he changed. And a lot of people didn't give him a chance, and I didn't at first either, because he was that bad. And but I finally, gave him a chance, and I realized that he changed. I mean, a real change. And that's something, that is the part right there that I hadn't accepted anything yet, and I seen him change, and I was pretty bad my own self, like I was in and out of the jail, drinking and everything, and getting arrested. And
Alan was a partier.
Yeah, I was pretty bad, and so seeing him change and knowing his history, it was like, dang, But anyways, we started a business together, and we were doing, and it was at his church. And I mean, I'm Mr. Party Guy, and I would go to the church and I would work and do this thing, and it was video production. And then, I mean, we had $500,000 of equipment. We had a TV station permit, and God was just dropping all this stuff in our lap. We weren't even shopping for this stuff. He was putting together a network. But anyways, he starts having a heart attack, and he goes in and the hospital, and they do a triple bypass on him. And we're so busy. I mean, the video business is really going, I mean, like, I had several crews out videotaping, and then I was also videotaping. I mean, I was out on my own gig, that I had to do. And I was keeping the family business going, and he's in the hospital, and he gives me his watch, and he says, "I'm not going to make it." And I told him, "Don't talk like that. Like, you're not done yet. All this whole thing that you got started with God ain't done, and I'm not. I wasn't with God at all. But only I had been listening to and watching him and this other guy, that they would go around and they would, like, I mean, amazing things. I mean, like miracle stuff and it was making me think, wow, if what they're doing is if that's really real. And I watched this lady's eyes grow back in her head one day, and it was like, whoa, so I mean, I was starting to really give, like, God there must be God. And I didn't grow up in church at all.
The benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I mean, like, wow. But anyways, he goes in the hospital, I'm doing my thing, and there's no cell phones, just pagers. And every so often I would get a page, and it would be the hospital. Finally, when I had a break, I went and called over there, and they said, "Hey, your dad wants to talk to you, And she said he can't talk, so he's writing on a little pad your name, and he wants to see you, and he's like, right now." And I told her, "You just tell him, he knows right where I am." I mean, he made the schedule, not me. He knows where I am, and, I'm doing what I have to do, and when I get done, I'll make it to the hospital. When I got to the hospital that night afterwards, he was in the ICU, so you got to go in, you push a button and talk in the speaker, and they say, there's all this commotion going on when I say who I'm there for, but I could hear all this commotion in there, and I have a feeling it's not good. You know what I mean? Like, not good for my dad. I have a feeling. And they tell me, just a minute, we'll let you in a minute. And so about 5 minutes, then the doctor comes out, and takes me in there, and then he's passed. And he was telling me, "Man, we did everything we could, but only, it seemed like he wanted to go. Like he was like fighting us. Like we're trying to keep him in the world, and he's fighting to get out of the world, right?" And so he won, kind of like. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I'm standing there, and now I'm a little bit ticked off at him because he gave up. The doctor said he gave up, so I'm kind of believing him, And the nurse is telling me, it just happened, so he's warm and everything. Here, touch him, he's still warm. And, I'm looking at her, and I'm ticked off at him because he gave up. And now I'm ticked off at the nurse, like, leave me alone, like, just leave me alone for a minute. And then I see he has a smile, and I tell the nurse, you know what? You put that smile on his face, don't, I've seen the movies where, they can, they close their eyes and they put a smile or whatever. And I accused her of putting a smile. And then I seen enough, and I went in the room and I called my mom and family and friends and everything. And then I was sitting there, and I decided that it was his God, okay, not mine at that point. And I'm pretty mad at him, like, why'd you let him leave like that, But I had learned from my dad and this other guy named Ray that you could, whatever you ask for, if you could believe for it, you could have it. Okay, that's something God gave us. That's a power we have. Okay, but you have to believe it. What you're gonna ask for. So while I'm waiting all for this family, and this is gonna be hard for me to tell, and I don't think I ever told this on camera, but all the people get there, and they're all Christians, and they want to go in and pray, and I decide, okay, I'm gonna pray, but I'm not telling anyone what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna call his life back in, kind of like what Jesus did. He said that if you could even raise the dead, right? So I'm going to go raise the dead. I'm going to go call his life back in his body. And I get in there, and everybody's standing there, and I'm standing at his feet, and I'm made up my mind I'm going to do it. And I reach out to put my hand on his foot, and I'm about to speak the words that, I in Jesus' name, I put the body back in his body. And right when I did that, all of a sudden I heard an audible voice say, "You really want to do that?" And I mean, it stopped me cold. Like, what? I'm looking at everybody to see who in the world in this room just said that. But nobody said that. They're all praying, and they got their eyes, lowered, and their heads lowered and everything. And, and I'm like, I think in my mind, like, what? And then the audible voice says, look at him. Like, look, he's cut from here to here. They did a triple bypass. They took arteries out of his legs. He's cut all over and everything. He says, I'm good for my word. If you go through this and call his life back to his body, I have to put his life back in his body. So think about what you're doing. And, I'm like, whoa, And he says, and the smile that you blamed the nurse on, he said, that's not a smile from that. He goes, I came to get him, and he was smiling. And I'm like, what? Like, whoa, that kind of blew me away. He says, okay, right now where he's at, there's no pain, no suffering, and you're about to put him in a body that's full of pain and suffering, and I have to do it if you do this. It's your call. You make up your mind. And then I didn't hear anything. And I was standing there looking at it. It changed my mind. Ran in the waiting room. I just left. It was like, I couldn't believe this. Like, what in the world? I was sitting in the corner of the waiting room. Everybody comes out. My mom comes to sit down next to me, and she says, she goes, I'm glad you didn't do that. And I look at her like, what? She goes, I go, what? What are you glad I didn't do? She goes, you're going to call his life back in his body, and it was going to happen. I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, and I was standing there praying that you wouldn't do that. And I looked at her, and I looked around, and, Richard Keel and Jay Silverheels, you know who that is? Tonto. He was there. I mean, all of his friends are in there. And, man, I looked at everybody, and I ran by, and just took a drive. And from that day on, after that, God was really real to me. Real. And I've heard the audible voice of him several times after now. But most of the time, I think the devil comes mostly really tricky. I think he comes really slick. I think if he could make, like church selection, he gives you, there's really only one selection, but you have multi-selection like a cereal aisle, right? You could pick any variety you want. Only one of them is the one you're supposed to have. but you have all this big selection. And I think actually he, like with music and movies and all that, there's so much selection, and he like smoothly puts this all out there to like make you, it causes you to make the wrong choices. You're like, this is appeals to me,
giving us temptations, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think like with Chris here, I think that when he was born, he already was seeing, like the veil was already like, what do you call, thin, and he knew it, so he already knew, down the line he's going to lose this guy to God. So I'm going to take him out. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going away. I'm going to take him out. And I think that's where you're at, Chris. I think because most people they can go through life and not have one bad. I mean, they have bad things happen, but only they never really say it's the devil or it's just life. You know what I mean? But only when you have these things coming at you like he doesn't like to lose one soul. So when he found out or realized he was losing you, he was putting up a fight, take you out. That was the idea. I'm pretty sure. Like he took my dad out.
And I look at it now, as like to me it's a blessing. Even after all the difficult things I've been through, I mean, I've seen miraculous things that not everybody has seen, and I had a story back when I was 18 years old, and I was always a believer, but I actually had a miraculous event that saved my life. And I've always wondered, one of the questions I'd like to ask God is, I've always wondered, why did you save me? And, I really shouldn't be here. And I've always wondered what is my purpose? And I almost had like survivor's remorse.
Right.
Because, people that are nicer, better than me, die every day, and why, God, did you spare me? And so that's why I feel a sense of duty to fulfill whatever destiny God has planned for me. And the best thing I feel I can do is try to help people understand how magnificent God is in just everyday life. And I know that sounds really corny, but and I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm no saint. I'm not perfect by any means.
No.
But
none of us are, man.
Like you say, you were having an audible, epiphany at a time when your father was passing away, which is a highly emotionally charged event, and look how magnificent that is, and you got that kind of guidance.
Well, to
not do what you thought was best.
That taught me like the things when we were going around with the cameras. They said it was God's cameras, right? And so if I was messing them up, I wasn't like, if I got mad at one of them, and I'm like banging this $15,000 camera around, trying to get back at them. You know what I mean? Because they were tubes back then. But so if you banged it bad enough, you could mess up a tube, and then they have to replace it. I mean, the camera would still be good, but after following these guys around, watching them pray for people and heal bones, even my own. I mean, I'm out partying up in the mountains. I mean, I spent all my time in the mountains. I love the mountains. I mean, that's how I saw the Sasquatch. I was running around, right? And I actually drank, I don't know, maybe a 12-pack or something like that with everybody else. And I jumped over a creek. Everyone jumped in, and I landed in the mud. My foot sunk way in there, and then I fell forward, and I broke my ankle. And when I started crawling. I couldn't walk. Everybody was laughing at me. They're like, knock it off, get up and walk, And I'm like, no, take me to the hospital. And nobody would. So I crawled to my car, got in my car, went home, and drove myself to the hospital. When I got there, it was broken. They gave me a cast. The next day, I'm supposed to work with these guys, right? I'm supposed to be the cameraman, and I can't carry cameras if I'm like chunking around on clunky crutches. And so my dad's like, go over to Ray, and get this thing fixed. You know, and I'm thinking, yeah, right, you know, but I do it anyways. I mean, I seen enough stuff that, you know, hey, it could happen. And I go in there and he prays, you know, and puts his hand there, and I do feel a little warmth or, you know, whatever. And he's like, now take the cast off. You got to walk on it. I'm like, what? He goes, take it off. You got to walk on it. I'm like, you're crazy, man. He goes, no. He goes, if you don't, it won't be healed. So he cut off the cast, you know, and I'm walking along. He goes, does it hurt? I'm like, yeah. And when I got to the hospital to get the cast, it was like 5 a.m. That's the shift that was on. Okay, and I went home, and I stayed home. I didn't go out video cruising with these guys. And I went to bed, and around 3:30 in the morning, my foot hurt so bad, and it was all swollen and everything. And I was like, man, I took myself back to the emergency room. And they did, when I got in there, the doctor was mad at me, man. He's like, what? He goes, what are you doing in here? You know, and no cast. He goes, did you walk on it? I go, yeah. And he's like, oh, man. He goes, I might have to really hurt you tonight, you know, because you might have messed yourself up. I'm like, okay. And they sent me to x-rays, and I'm sitting in this little room where they do the casting of all the casting material, you know, and everything. And he says, he comes in, he goes, hey, man. He goes, can you, like, jump off there and walk across the room for me? You know, I'm looking at him like, what? Yeah, you know, and I do, and I limp across, and I get back on the bed as fast as I can. He goes, did it hurt? I'm like, yeah. He goes, stay right there. And about 10 minutes later, he comes in with another doctor. He goes, hey, can you do that again, but only, you know, for this doctor, like, jump down and walk across there? You know, now I think I know they're crazy, right? Like, I have no idea what they're doing, and I'm like, sure, you know, and I get down, and I'm thinking, you know, he just told me a little while ago that I was damaging it bad by walking on it. I have no clue what he's going to do to me. Then when I walk across and I start walking back to the bed, he goes, no, come out here, come here, you know. And I follow him out, and on the wall they have the x-rays all lined out, and he says, look right there. He goes, you see that right there? And I go, yeah. He goes, what does it look like? And I go, broken. You can see the bone absolutely just broken, you know. He goes, come here, man, come here, you know. And he goes over this other set, and he goes, you see anything on here? You know, and I'm looking, and I go, no, you know, these bones aren't broken. I go, whose x-rays is that? He goes, that's the one we just took. I was like, what? So I had these things, you know, that hanging with these guys, and I didn't even believe in God, and here's these things happening to me. I get to watch this lady's eyes grow back in her head. I watch them heal bones. My bones get healed, and I start learning. So that's how I learned it was all in what you say, right? And everyone has the gift, whether you have God or not. You can call things to life in your life. So even the ones that don't believe, when they run around every day and they say, I'm having a bad day or whatever they're saying, they're creating. Whatever you speak is creating. You're creating it in your life all the time. Everybody creates it. It's the most amazing thing, and it's a gift that we all have. We're made like the Creator, and we create.
There had been a couple of things that have been happening to me lately that I haven't really talked about, and it's just, this is more of the power of thought. All right. I don't know what to think of it, but I am thinking about something and it happens. I mean, when I have to get my taxes done. Let's just say I'm back about a year that I have to get my taxes done, right? And I have my H&R rep who is going to do them for me. She has been doing my past years for me. And she told me that, and I told her it has to be done by this certain day. And I was at the Bonds the other day shopping, and I said, oh man, I gotta get these done. And I'm going, but I think I can get an extension, but I'm already way, okay? And all of a sudden, I felt, don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be cool. I'm going, and all of a sudden, my cell phone rang, and I said, hello, and it was my H&R rep, H&R block rep, And she goes, hey, why don't you call tomorrow and see if you can get an extension? I'm all, what? She goes, yeah, just call an extension and get and there's that number right there at below the paper and get an extension. You'll be cool. I go, where did this come from? And so the next morning I called, no problem, 2 months. I'm going, what? 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 Okay, and that's not the first time that has happened. I'll be thinking, like, oh my God, how this is gonna happen? All of a sudden, it fixes itself. It's like, what? And that has been happening to me, and I've been catching it. I'm going, what?
Like not normally ever happening.
No,
like that, right?
it just started happening within the past year.
Yeah.
And I'm going, what? I'm stressed over something, and then all of a sudden I ask, can this happen so that way I won't be stressed anymore? And it fixes itself. Like, what? Like, just out of the blue, my H&R rep calls. Just out of the not more than 10 minutes after I was thinking, pushing the cart down the vegetable aisle, thinking, oh God, what am I going to do? I need 2 months extension. What am I going to do? And she calls out of the blue. What? I don't know, guys. I ever since I got involved doing this, I always thought that, ever since I saw Patty, the Patterson Gimlin film on In Search of, right? I said, there's got to be something else out there that I need to learn, that I need to know about. And ever since I got involved doing this, it's just, there is something way bigger than all of us out there, guys. I swear. There is. And if it is believing and thinking out loud and really, really, and I mean really think, if you want something, guys, I'm not going to tell you to pray for it, but it's the power of thought. What is praying? It's the power of thought. That's what that is. When I had Jose here and Baltazar here last week with the Crystal Skull, and I said to them, with the thousands of people that they get when they go and do these ceremonies, and these people are all there for one specific reason. You imagine if all those people out there were told to think of one thing and think really hard. You imagine you could probably pull off a miracle. And it's all up in here. And that's why I think our government know that we have this power, but they're trying to suppress it. And I've told you guys, it's in the foods and in the drink. Granted, I talk the talk, but I don't walk the walk. I have to admit to that. I am a Pepsi freak. All right, and I know Pepsi is bad for me, but this all started though when Cheryl told me to stop taking fluoride. I noticed things started to change. And you imagine if it was not only fluoride, but all the Pepsis and the Cokes and the hamburgers from McDonald's and Jack in the Box and Burger Kings and pizzas from Me and Ned's and Round Table and pizza. I mean, you imagine if you completely stopped, I would probably die of a heart attack because I need all that junk food. Okay, but imagine
it's the opposite of what they tell you, though.
Imagine not eating all of that crap that I believe our government knows, and that's the reason the GMOs, that they put that crap in the foods to numb you down.
Yeah.
to
And
make
then-
you
and
to make us
maybe-
stupid.
Yep.
Maybe to take away the power that
The powers that yes,
like Chris has it. Everybody has it, but only Chris has a little bit more of it.
and
dose.
Yep.
yeah, and
But
you know,
we all have it, and we're all dummied up from all the
and,
GMOs.
and his gift probably got stronger after he stopped smoking.
probably.
Now, Chris, now you just got to stop drinking.
Oh yeah, I
and-
mean, you know,
Actually, you don't got to do anything. Really, all you have to do really is believe the power of
Right.
what we're talking about,
Right.
and the person that did it for us. That's actually the only
You know-
key. Everything else after that is all about him working with you
Right.
to make you what he created you to be.
Okay, now let's try an experiment, you guys. Let's try an experiment. And I know we have thousands of people who watch us, and eventually will watch us on YouTube.
Like everybody stop drinking Pepsi for a
No.
week?
Let's
can't.
I'm not going to tell you this is not. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. I'm not going to tell you what to go do tomorrow. How to run your life. That is up to you. All right. But I'm telling you right now, there's some crazy shit happening to me that I don't know where it's coming from. I have no clue.
I think I know.
Well, I do too. I mean, it just wow.
Just like why we have remember we said there's no coincidences. Okay. Like
Right.
Chris being on the air right here, not a coincidence. Right. And with his story that he has, not a coincidence.
Yep.
Your story and the little things happening to you, not a coincidence. And then the three of us together and the audience, people in the chat, not a coincidence.
Now is it because is there something coming in the near future that's making us
Yes.
stronger?
Not so much
Not
that.
okay, making us more
I
aware.
think so.
Aware, yes.
Okay.
Like what I was telling my wife the
Yeah.
other day,
I really think.
the gray area is going away. Okay, there's the good and there's the bad,
Yep.
and then there's this gray area where everybody lives, okay? And it used to be huge. You know, like everything could hide in the gray area. And you could get away with it. I mean, you could ignore it all you wanted. You could ignore the devil. You could ignore God. You could ignore the government. I mean,
Right.
the GMO. I mean, you could ignore everything in this gray area, right? Now the gray area is disappearing. And now all the real deal is coming out. And now, I mean, it's in your face. In your face. And now everybody's like faced with these decisions now that they never had to deal with in their life ever for a long time. I mean, and it's coming down to, like, I think a finale, like what we started the show with. They're starting to tell us now, this is what's going to be revealed, this is the way it's going to be. And if you don't really have the king, then you're really going to be one of those Christians like in that show going
But
freak 'em all
why?
out.
But why are they telling us? Is it because they have to? Is it
I
the
think it
law?
is they have
and you know
to.
what? Is it the law of the universe that the bad people have to tell us? They have to. Okay, they have to give us a choice.
Right. Yeah, we have to have a choice.
There is a choice. We have to give. They have to give us a choice, and I think by the law of the universe, and I've heard that in several movies. The law of the universe is that they have to give us the choice of either going this way or that way, and it's up to you guys which way you want to go.
Yeah, it's
And
an individual.
it's your
thing,
choice. It's absolutely your choice. And I believe that. It's like, or else they wouldn't be giving us these hints on childhood ends or Jupiter Ascending or any of these other TV shows that are coming out. I mean, it's like, for example, I wonder on the X-Files when it starts up on the 24th of January, on those 6 episodes that are going to come out, I wonder what's going to be in those 6 episodes that are going to make all you guys go, what did they just say? Where did I hear that? I mean, I guarantee you that Chris Carter and Steven Spielberg and all those guys are going to put little hints in there, and they're going to make you guys, just like on Childhood Ends, when all of you guys started emailing Alan and texting me, dude, you need to look at that. And I'm going, okay, when I get around to it, when I finally did, I went, what did I just see? What? You're kidding me.
You know what really is funny is nobody gets it except for the ones that are into this.
Right. For all those
I mean,
who
they're
have
the
been,
ones that see the hints. Everybody else
for
is
all
like,
you guys have been watching us for 4 years, and we've been talking about this stuff for 4 years, and I have been bringing up my DVDs up here and showing you, The Arrival and Fifth Element and, all these little things, and I'm going, they're hints. And you guys are catching on to them because you guys have been emailing us like crazy and texting us on the Childhood Inn.
I have a little, like, something to add. Like, everybody, like, what I've been getting lately is, like, where are we now? Like, where are we at in prophecy, or what does the Bible say where we're at? Everybody's asking me that, now. Where are we? Where are we? Like, all I know is, and I don't get this from church. I don't go to church, you guys, okay? I do not. And I don't watch TBN either, or any of these broadcast
Trust
Christian
me, guys,
stuff.
he doesn't.
I absolutely don't. Okay, I read and study and research my own stuff and then have my own experiences with the dark side or the light side, or, so I'm going through life learning this stuff on my own. And sometimes I'm a hardhead. But one thing I know for a sure fact about where we are, there's this place called Jerusalem and Israel, and it says in the scripture there's prophecies. There was probably like 120 prophecies saying that when you see Israel become its own nation again, and it hasn't been since like 2,000 years or something like that. And actually, no other country has ever went away and came back. And then no other countries went away and came back and then had their own language, original language, too. I mean, this is like almost impossible, a miracle. Okay? It says when the generation that sees that will not pass away before the Jesus comes back. In the rest of the prophecy, and if you want to know what that is, go read the book. I mean, it's out there.
Okay, this is what
Alan, it's also worth mentioning to people is, what else does it say in the Bible? It says, what does Jesus say directly? He says, they hated me, they're going to hate you as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I think when you say, where are we? I think we're at a crossroads. I think people are being forced now. Everybody is being forced to, pick a side. And there's only two sides. There is no gray area any longer.
Nope.
It's you're either on the side of good, to make it simple. You're either on the side of good or you're on the side of evil. Which side are you going to pick? And as far as I'm concerned, until my dying breath, I feel like I'm a warrior for Christ and for as many people as I can spread the word, and for sharing my testimony. And some people react different ways. Some people look at me like I'm crazy, and other people say, wow, if what this guy's saying is correct, maybe I need to start looking at things, more carefully like that, because, the time is near, and we all know, all of us here in chat, here again, you guys got some of the, brightest, informed people in chat. I mean, they've all been talking about that Satan's already a defeated being, and he's done already. He got defeated on the cross. So for as many, it's gotten down to this. He's going to go down soon, probably, like Alan said, within our generation. He's trying to take as many souls with him as possible. That's what it's all about. It's a fight. It's a fight for souls, because for every soul that Satan can take, it's a dig against, it hurts God and Jesus. That's the only way he can get back. So, that's where we are, folks. I mean, you can think that, I myself and people that think like, Alan and Jeffrey and folks are crazy, or you can take a good, long, honest look at life and realize, well, wait a minute, what these people are saying is probably true, and maybe I need to, take a long take a long look. And that's where we're all going to come in, because there'll be people behind us that need our help and guidance through this that don't know any better. And I honestly think that's where we're headed, Alan. I think people like you and myself, it's funny, they say the earth's inherited by the meek. I don't want to be famous. In fact, I'm nothing without God. Like I said, I'm a piece of conduit. All I am is a spokesperson.
I'm dead.
The power comes from Him.
I should have been dead.
I mean, if people want to listen to me, great. And if not, good luck.
Right. Now, remember, guys, this is not, what is it, the 500 Club?
Yeah, we're not. We're not. Is, yeah.
Be gone, Satan! No, and I got that from Jeff Dunham, by the way. Be gone, Satan! Okay, no.
I love that guy.
This is not that type of a show, guys. We're not We're not religious fanatics. This is a paranormal, supernatural show. There's aliens out there. There are hairy 10-foot creatures called Bigfoot running around the mountains up there. All right? We talk about all of this. This is real stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now what is this 10-foot creature called Bigfoot? What is it? I have no clue. All right? Is it evil? Is it is it from up there? I don't know. Gray aliens. These aliens, are they good? Are they bad? Are they evil? They're real. They are absolutely real. Monsters are real.
Yeah. I think gray aliens are demonic.
That's what the Alan keeps saying too.
I've heard of people say. I've heard of people saying. I've heard of cases where people that have been abducted several times. Someone has said to them, "Hey, why don't you try and invoke the name of Jesus?" And I've never heard it not work.
Right.
And so, to me, if an alien is truly just a separate, entity, and it's not connected at all, why would that be a hurtful thing for it to hear? I think that's just part of the whole demonic realm, as far as I'm concerned.
And I'm going to ask that question to Emerald next week if she shows up. I'm going to go, Emerald, shut up and listen. Why is it working? Why is it working when people are getting abducted and they have these aliens, 5-foot tall creatures around their body with big eyes, and they've had enough, and they say 2 words: JC, Jesus Christ, and they disappear. Why is that, Emerald? Tell me right now. Why? Tell me.
Did you know I came across a website that is where this guy, I guess he's a pastor or something, and he started being abducted. Okay? And now he's asking the question to other pastors why they ignore this. They don't want to talk about what we're talking about. We're probably ticking off a bunch of church people too, because we're talking about it and it scares them. They rather run and hide, and they don't want to face this need. They're more scared of it than anything, right? So there's a website now where this guy talks about. I think the last time I read it was a month or so ago. There was like 640 cases he has documented of people that used that name and stopped the abduction right in the middle of it. Like they're floating out the window. And all of a sudden, they say that name, and
boom, they're in the bed.
Yep.
Okay.
And it was over. And never happen again. Never.
So for those people who don't believe in higher power, who don't believe in God, who don't believe in Jesus Christ,
just wait till they get abducted.
Yeah. You know what? Ask to be abducted, then use it. You know what? I want everybody to try something tonight. And the rest of the week, okay? Let's try something. Everybody right now who is watching and who's going to be watching us later on YouTube, all right? Is there something that you really want to happen in your life? Something that you want? Well, then ask for it. Tonight before you go to bed, to yourself, get away from your family, go to your room, sit down, close your eyes, and just think. it. Whatever you want for the next 7 days until next Sunday. Think it strongly. I mean, the power of thought. I'm not asking you. I'm not.
Maybe we could do a call in that week and have everybody call in and tell us. If
Yeah,
they
but
have
I don't know if people are going to be really telling the truth or not. But it's hard. But you know what? I'm not asking you guys to pray. I'm not. This is not prayer. This is the power of thought here. The power of thought. I think the power of thought and prayer are the same thing.
Could be.
If you're, because what you're gonna do is, but when you think this, you have to ask for help. By thinking it's not gonna help. You have to ask somebody for help. All right, and that's the big guy upstairs. You have to ask him for it. Now, if there are people out there who don't believe in God and in Satan and in Jesus Christ and in angels and all that, then it's probably going to be really hard for you to actually think it or to actually say it coming out of your mouth. It's going to be hard. I know it's going to be hard. But as they would say, for shits and giggles, do it. Come on, do it. Really, seriously. And see what happens. If we can convince one person who doesn't believe and says, God, can you please help me out here? And there's something happening on Tuesday. Can you please help? Specifically, and ask for it, and ask for it by using His name, and see what happens. For all those who believe, anyways, do it anyways. Ask for something that you've been wanting for a long time. I don't care if there's a bill that you have problems paying, well then ask him for help. All right? If there is something that you want very badly, well then ask him for it. Again, I am not a preacher. I'm not asking. This is supernatural stuff. We're going to see if we can make something happen here, guys. Supernatural stuff. This is what this show is all about. Wouldn't it be cool for a bunch of you guys out there to really, really, really ask for it, and then it happens? That would be so cool.
Yeah, remember years ago, Art Bell did this kind of a conscious thought experiment like that, and they were asking for rain somewhere, and it worked so well they flooded out a whole area. I forget what it was in the country, but it was
I remember that.
Yeah, they wanted rain, and then they ended up getting several feet of rain, and I thought it was kind of funny. They it almost worked too well.
Yeah.
I know. Like, what if we all have the same target? Like,
well, you know what? That's what I was thinking too. Let's all think of something together.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Let's.
That's what I think is even more more amazing. Is let's think of something together and see if we can,
Okay. I'll tell you what.
Shift the energies.
What can we? Let me think. Let me think here, guys. Hold on.
Maybe we can make the moon stop.
I want everybody still to go ahead and ask for the thing by yourself, though. Do that on your own. But let's also do one together. Everybody who's watching and listening to us right now. I don't care if it's 5 people or 10 people. Let's see if we can make something happen. Let me think here. Hold on.
Let's make the president step down.
I agree, Alan. Yeah.
Please send all hate mail to P.O. Box 3, Alan, in the care of Alan. No, just kidding. Hold on. Let me think. I can't think right now. I would have to think. Let me give me a week, you guys, to think about this.
Yeah, he's going to be climbing poles, and while he's up there, he's going to be thinking about this.
Yes, and I'm going to fall off the pole in the process. Let me think about that.
He'll have an earthquake, and it'll come to him.
Let me think about this, guys. Seriously, let me think about this one, and I'll make it a good one. And this is going to be homework for the following week after New Year's. There you go. But right now, though, I mean, this week.
Actually, that's pretty cool.
another-
The new year, we'll have some great thought for the new year. That sounds really cool. I like that.
But I don't want it. I'm gonna think of something that has to happen within the following 2 weeks after we say it.
Oh, okay.
It's not gonna be November. No. If it's gonna happen, if we're gonna make this happen, I want it to happen when we are all aware and just finished really thinking of what I plan to do. So, like I said, give me a week. Let me think about this. But regardless, for all those who believe, and for those who don't believe, try it and see what happens. It might surprise you. I'm telling you guys, things are happening to me right now that, and in this thought process, I am using God.
Oh, sure.
Okay, and it's working. All right, so you guys all know I am a religious person. I believe, but it's just crazy that it works.
Mm-hmm.
It's blowing me away, guys.
Well, it works even better. Is there's like a, I don't know what you would call like a way to do it. Okay, like if you use the manual, like the how where I learn everything from, there's a way of doing things, right? And what his way is you seek him, you seek after him, and everything will be added unto you. All your desires will be added to you, right? If you chase your desires, then your desire becomes your God.
I got it. I got it. Hold on. I'm gonna put the mic on. I'm gonna put the mics on mute. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that has a purpose too.
And it has a purpose.
I mean,
okay. Here we go.
We're gonna like flood them.
Yes. All right. Okay. Okay. All right, you guys. This is okay. You guys, like I said, your individual thought. You guys still do that, but this is what I want you guys to do for me and Alan, so we can make this happen. Shut up, Alan. All right. And I have thrown this out as hints in the past several weeks about us in talks right now with somebody in Hollywood. All right. After the show got put on the CW here in Central California, I don't know if I should say this because she said not to.
You don't have to give any names or anything. You can just say a network.
Okay.
And they don't have. It doesn't have to be aimed at a specific network because we don't know what his network is. I mean, we might
okay.
be. We
I
might
see what
be
you mean.
going after this network because we know the names and the contacts and everything.
Right.
But just because of that doesn't mean that's the way it's going to go.
Okay.
It hasn't went like that yet.
Right, it hasn't.
So far.
Okay. I have been in talks. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what happened. This is okay. Another one that just came up 2 weeks ago. After our show started to air on the CW, right? The network that we're talking to right now in Hollywood have not seen any of the 9 episodes yet. All they have seen is what we are doing right now on the internet.
This ought to make them run.
Okay. And then I decided it was a Monday. I emailed my production crew, the head guy. I said, Orlando, I think it's time to send an episode, just one episode, to give them an idea. And he goes, okay. Not more than 5 minutes later, my iPhone goes ding because I got an email. I looked at it, and it was that network. It was the person I've been talking to. She says, Jeff, send me out of the 9 episodes your best episodes that not describes your show, that shows off the talents of your show. And I went, what? Not more than 5 minutes before that, I had text Orlando to send me the link of one episode because I was going to send it to them, and then all of a sudden because I was thinking it. I was thinking it. I mean, I was thinking it hard, you guys. And all of a sudden, Pamela, sends me an email stating, "Okay, send me one episode." I went, "You're kidding me."
What? Okay, wait a minute. What if it isn't you thinking it?
What do you mean?
What if you have a gift like Chris?
You're
what? Just only finding out
somebody already said that to me.
That you're like tuning in on what's happening. You know what I mean? Like you're getting like a premonition of it, and it gets you to thinking of it because you're tuned in. Somehow. And instead of you're thinking it in cause and effect type thing like that.
But I have never, ever in my life had any type.
Yeah, but you never did this before either.
No, I haven't either.
And you never talked about this kind of
remember,
stuff
Jeff,
before.
things are quick. Things are quickening.
Yes, exactly.
So changes shouldn't surprise you, Jeff, based on what you do, the people you surround yourself with, and the state of what's going on in the universe. You shouldn't be surprised, and none of us should be surprised that our whatever you want to call them, gifts, whatever, are being sharpened, and there's more and more out there. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Jeff. I think that's just it's a result of what you're doing. And I think you're being given some good energy because you're trying to help people. So, if you notice, all these things that you're having so far have been positive. So instead of doubting it, I would thank whoever you'd like to thank for it. You know where it's coming from, and kind of write it out, because it sounds to me like your perceptions are just being sharpened, and you should, not question it and embrace it, I think.
Yeah, somebody had already told me that I might have a gift that it's just starting to come out now. And
I think it is. I think that's what it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
And maybe God's like preparing you for even more. You know what I mean? Like he's like giving little bitty bits and pieces here and there, and he's preparing you for bigger ones. So that you don't like lose your socks and everything in front of everybody.
I went to go see my parents about 4 weeks ago, and we were sitting at the dining room table, and I don't get to see my parents very often. It's just that I work a lot and I just don't have time. So they wanted to know what's been going on, and I told them, this is before the CW. I go, next week the show's going to be aired on the CW finally, and they said, all right, cool. They're getting excited. They're getting excited. And then I started telling them, I asked for the photograph that I showed of my mom that she took in McAllen on Christmas. Then I started to tell her about how we are, and I didn't say preach or praise or anything like that, but I told her how I helped Dolores Gonzalez's daughter Joni out in Orange County, how I've been helping people, and what we do here now. And my mom and my dad looked at each other and looked at me, and my mom smiled. And she goes, I've been praying that was going to happen.
See? Yeah. That's amazing. But only, I mean, like in chat right now, they pretty much made up their mind what they're going to pray for. But, that you're like I was telling you a long time ago, we're not in control of this. This is like somebody else's thing, and it's going down the track that they're putting it on, and we're just supposed to keep the lights on and the audio going and keep on going, and then the course will be set by the pilot that's actually piloting it. Because so far, like every thing we try to make happen really doesn't really work out, but only out of the blue things work out. And usually it's so far like a blessing that it's almost like a miracle. Like whoever heard of getting put on TV and not paying for it?
Exactly.
And a whole season too, and we couldn't even afford all the shows they wanted. Even I mean, they wanted like 3 times more than what we could really produce, because we don't do this. We don't do it for money. We're doing it for the fun, you know. But only I think if we believe for that money, that could be provided for. That might be the thing everybody could pray for us.
The thing is, you guys need to understand how. Of course, we do. You guys do the show, you know, because you like paranormal topics, and Bigfoot has always been one of my favorites. You know, aside from all this other, you know, stuff we go through. But when you wade through it all and you get down to, you know, when you boil it all down, you guys are doing a public service. I mean, you know, how many people in chat here have been able to talk to each other and discuss how they pray for each other and whatnot, and it doesn't have to be, you know, like Jeff keeps saying, it's not, I don't like to use that term, it's not a religious thing, it's just, I look at it like we're all going downhill in life, like down a hill, not downhill, but down a hill, and if you take your foot off the brake, and you trust that God's gonna keep you at the right speed, and He's gonna steer you around the turn, and that your intentions are good, and it's within God's will, you can see miracles happen in your life and all around you. And simple things like you don't have money for this, and all of a sudden, somehow you get it. And, you know, you do something nice for someone, you know, you lend them your last $5, and, you know, you find a 20 somewhere, someone owes you money, gives you money. I mean, it's just funny the way things happen like that. I mean, you help someone else and your health improves. I mean, how many of us have volunteered before and not gotten more out of the volunteering than the people we're helping? I mean, that's what I find.
Yeah.
And to me, it's not about religion. It's not about me, preaching or judging or any of that stuff. It's about taking your foot off the brake and seeing where the road is going to take you, and you can do marvelous things. I mean, we only get one shot at this, and you guys with the show, you have an epic opportunity to help thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people just by kind of sharing your, what started out as a hobby that now actually you have to kind of look at as a calling. And I think that's where Jeff's at. I think Jeff's
it's going to the
soul is starting to catch up with his mind a little bit, if that makes any sense. And I think that's what's happening. I predict that you're gonna have a lot of epiphanies in the near future, Jeffrey, that are going to be even more magnificent. And same with you, Alan, because you guys are doing such a service and such a good thing for people. I envy you because you have this, this forum to do it, and that's my motivation for wanting to call in, because, if I can touch just one person and make one person's life a little easier, or I have an email, like a sheet that I give people that are interested, and I call it Holy Ammunition because that's the way I look at it. I'd be happy to send it to Jeff, and whoever wants it can, hit Jeff or Alan up on the website and get it. If you guys, for what it's worth, it works for me, and that's my motivation. If I can help one person, then that's a win for me.
Okay, well, yeah,
Jeffrey guy. This one hit him in the heart, guys. It was a good one. It's hard to talk about stuff like that, huh?
Yeah.
I know, and I sometimes I can't either. I sit there and choke out words, emotionally like.
Okay, well, okay, there you go. I want everybody this week to ask God for something and see what happens. All those who are watching us right now and who will be listening to us later, I believe, and I think Alan saw this a long time ago, that I think we're supposed to be we're doing this and we're going to. Okay. We have been put here for a reason.
I think the whole thing's for a reason. I don't know if I told about that too much, but a long time ago, we were riding back from the Bay Area, and we went over to see the ball theater.
Yeah, Sacramento. No. Oh,
it was the
ball theater.
Ball theater.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we're
Yeah,
coming
it was.
back, and we were just chit-chatting, and all of a sudden, the windshield opened up into a big, giant movie screen for me. And I started seeing what we were going to be doing in the future, but I don't know exactlies or anything like that. I just saw this big panoramic view of us doing this, bigger than ever, like giant, what would you say, a lot bigger than this, more like a big giant production, and more huger than we were even dreaming about, that's for sure, and bigger than this of what we're at right now. And I still feel it still.
And I turned to Alan and I said, dude, are you back on drugs?
Yeah. Like, you're
are
smoking crack,
Are you
dude.
smoking crack again?
Yeah. That you did. But only so far since then.
It's been a roller coaster, dude.
Oh man. I mean, it's fun. I mean, really fun. To me, it's fun. But I don't know about everybody else. But I enjoy that.
I'm having a blast too, guys. I'm having a blast. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This was not supposed to happen. What we're doing, this was just for me to go out and look for ghosts and see if I can get something on camera. But for some reason, it went from that to this.
Well, it's like it's the most supernatural thing.
Yeah,
I mean, for reals, it's the most supernatural thing. The actual book itself is the #1 bestseller for 6,000 years. I mean, that is supernatural all by itself. And it's still the #1 bestseller. Still.
Well, that's because they're buying them for the hotel rooms.
Yeah. If you say so.
Yeah, just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Just trying to throw some humor in there. All right.
But even going out and looking for Bigfoot, I mean, the highest high that I get so far is sitting out. I mean, I was telling Jeffrey before we went on, like, I can't wait to get back out there up in the hills and have this thing scream at us again, even though it scares the snot right out of me, man. I mean, it scares me to the limit, but only it's the most exciting thing. I mean, it's like a real high to get yourself scared that bad.
Right.
Because I guess it's because it's, not many people
because
get to do that.
It's a freaking monster.
True.
I mean, you know how many people out there, and probably all of you out there, would wish to go with us one day on a camping trip to the spot so you can hear the footsteps around the tents, so you can hear them scream. It's like, really? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like meowing like a cat.
Or hooing
and
like
there's no cat anywhere near there.
Right. And you can ask Christina that.
Yeah.
She'll tell you.
Or go around your tent, you hear a 900-pound owl.
Run.
Go around you and going around you and going around you, and after 2 hours, then it turns into a chimpanzee. Starts making that noise. I mean, to me, that's like the most exciting.
That's crazy.
And I love doing that
why
stuff,
people out there think, how can two guys come out of freaking nowhere and get all this fabulous evidence? Well, it didn't happen overnight, you guys.
No. We had to go in a lot.
I started doing this in 2002. That's freaking 13 years ago, where you guys had no idea I even existed.
Yeah.
I put these plans in place, the connections, the 24-hour hotline. I've been paying 14 years out of my own pocket for this 24-hour hotline, so that way I can get these connections for people like Chris can call me and tell me his stories, and people can call me and say, hey, there's Bigfoots near Avocado Lake.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we are getting all this great evidence. That's why we know where to go. It didn't happen overnight.
To me, what blows me
didn't.
away, like on Facebook, for instance, and some of the websites, we have like little short clips of Bigfoot and a picture of Bigfoot from a game camera.
Yeah.
We have recordings of it screaming at us and everything. Only it doesn't get shared, but only there'll be some fake, crappy. I mean, it maybe it's more melodramatic or whatever, or makes your hair stand on end because you're all scared or
Bless you.
something. But only it's not real. And
Right.
they put pictures up that you can't, it's a dark splotch behind a tree, and a blob squatch, or whatever they call it. And that thing will have like 150 million shares. And, I'm like, why does everybody share the crap?
Yeah,
I mean, we have the real deal right here, and I got like 2,000 shares. I don't even care to make money on it. It's just the point is, I got the real deal right here, and nobody's sharing it. I just want everybody to hear it.
You know what? You guys just keep coming back here. We're going to give you the best evidence. And it's because we have made those connections on where these things are.
Mm-hmm.
All right? If it wasn't for these connections, we wouldn't. We don't go out, let's go hiking and maybe one of these days we'll find something. No, we go to the spot where we know they're at. I mean, we.
That's what we call it, too, the spot.
The spot. I mean, like 2 months ago, we had missing time.
Yep.
I can't believe I'm actually saying that, you guys. It happened to me.
Yep.
It happened to Alan. It happened to Robert. I can't believe I watch freaking abduction stories on TV about people having missing time.
And I even talked to a lot of people that had missing time.
And all of a sudden it happened to us?
Yeah.
And we've told that story already, what was it, 2 months ago. It's
times, yeah.
freaking believable. I have no idea what happened. No clue.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, Chris.
I'd love to get up into an area like that.
Sometimes, people say that, and then when they do, they're sorry.
Well, you live right here, dude. So, Well, yeah. The next time we're up there, we're gonna be coming by to see the mother-in-law here pretty soon, probably, and we'll let you know, and we'll go on and we'll meet each other and.
Well, yeah, I was thinking he could be a great team.
Well, yeah, I mean he's not very far. He's only an hour and a half away from us, maybe 2 hours at the most.
Because we usually take people that are sensitive or have like some kind of gift or knowledge, and you're right up that alley.
Right. So okay, all right, Chris, we're gonna let you go, man. Hey, I really. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever you have to say.
No, go for it.
No, I just didn't say thank you for coming on tonight, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah. It takes people like you and hopefully more people that will want to share their experiences and help other people and just come on and say, hey, this stuff is happening, guys. You cannot. It's happening.
Yeah. Anytime you need anytime you guys need a fill-in, or if the lemon farmer can't make it, who I enjoy, by the way, Keith, just give me a call. And it was fun talking to you guys. I really enjoyed it, and like I said, I feel lucky to be part of the the PC community. You guys have like I said, a lot of great people in your chat, and hopefully it'll get bigger and better for you guys. I think you guys are doing awesome, and I see big things for you guys in the near future.
Well, I think we feel it.
Yeah.
I think we feel it big time. So, all right, Chris, thank you very much, man. And keep talking in chat, and we'll talk very soon, okay?
Thanks, Chris, man. It was good meeting you.
Okay, gentlemen, take care. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Happy
See ya.
New Year.
Okay, good night, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, Happy New Year, man. We're almost in the new year.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking about that last night and got in chat and Facebook. It was like, what a weird year, 1 minute you got Bigfoot, stomping around you, and then the next minute you're in the hospital fighting for your life. And I mean, all the things in between. It was like the weirdest 2015. Only now, I can't wait to see 2016. It's going to be good.
We're going to need your help on that. So, okay, this is the homework. From now until next Sunday, we're talking to a network right now, and they have really taken an interest in us. Seriously, they have. Seriously, now it happens. Now it's happening to us. All right? This is a major network. Now, let's just say a major cable network. All right? And they've taken interest now because the CW thing has put us in the ballpark where now people are taking interest. So, I want you guys to ask that we get this deal. Or some deal. So you guys, come on.
We want the real deal.
The real deal. All right, because I would love to do this as a full-time job for you guys and give my 150% every day. And what you guys see right here in this studio is nothing compared to what I want to give you guys when we get the deal. I'm going to blow your socks off. I guarantee it. But we need to step up one more notch to get to that location. And when it happens, you guys, I would like to go 5 nights a week on TV. That's what my intent is for you guys. I would love to go 5 nights for you guys. An hour a night. What do you guys say?
That would be cool.
1 hour a night on TV, and still even do this, and maybe syndicated on AM radio someplace. I mean, wouldn't that just be totally cool? But we need your help. So think it. All right, you guys. I think this is it. This is probably one of our. Actually, wait. What a way to end of the year.
Yeah.
On this show right here, huh? Yeah.
Is this the last
This
Sunday
is the last
of the year?
Sunday of the year right here.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, it was a good way to end it.
What a way to end it. Huh? Okay. All right, you guys. That's it for me. Yeah, this show took a lot out of me. Realizing that things are happening to me and to Alan, and it's crazy. So I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I'm having a blast doing this. Okay, good night. I'm done. All right.
He's out of words, really,
I'm
truly.
done. All right, for Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas and Danny and Heidi and Emerald and Mike Smith and Elizabeth Martinez, I want to thank you guys for giving us a great 2015. We will see you guys next Sunday for 2016.
Happy New Year.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year, Danny.
You have been listening to Paranormal Central with Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and on ArtBell.com. Stay tuned for next time. Remember to keep your eyes to the skies. And we hope you witness something you cannot explain.